How are you? It's been a while. It's been a while. Good evening. Happy Saturday night to all of you guys. I have not been around in a while, but we'll go into that in just a second. So, good evening to all. It is another circus of fuckery. Step right up, boys and girls, ladies and gents. She's at it again. And then we've got some news, for Johnny Depp. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. So I hope all of you guys are feeling pretty good. I hope that the weather where you guys are is fantastic. I hope you had a fantastic 4th of July weekend. And that's what we're going to do tonight. So Amber Heard is back again. You guys know she's been after this one juror. She's had Elaine file to investigate this juror we so keep hearing about. But so talk about the circus of fuckery, right? So, and then, Johnny Depp's got some really exciting stuff coming up, right? He's got his album. We're going to talk about that. He's got this charity he just did for quite some large sum of money. And yeah, he's got a lot of stuff going on. So there was another article today as well when it comes to Johnny Depp talking about Netflix. So we're going to jump into that as well. But we're going to start, first of all, we are going to start for you beautiful people, the intro. So let me go ahead and roll my regular intro and then we'll get right to the show. 1, 2, 3, go. Welcome to the Candy Girl Theory Show. I am Christina, your host, where we talk about all the shenanigans of life, which include pop culture drama, the mysteries of relationships, psychology, fuckery, and all the things that make life a shit show. So grab your microphone, get comfortable, and let's start the show. Let's go!
Seriously, I cannot understand a single word you're saying.
That's hearsay, I guess. Isn't happy hour anytime?
The best kind of prize is a surprise.
Work it. I was dancing with that thing. I kind of like it. How's the sound, you guys, tonight? How's everything looking? Are we looking good? Are we in 720? Probably not, because I always forget to do that. So let me just fix my screen here for a second. I forget to do myself. I'm going to flip myself as well, just because it looks better. So there we are. I flipped myself. So really, you're in the Twilight Zone. Normally the door's on the other side, but I have to crack that door, you guys. So forgive the background a little bit. Normally I have it a pretty tight shot. It's just because this room it's one of the few rooms in the home that does not get very ventilated. So it's very, very hot in here. It's over 100 here in Northern California. Don't know where all of you guys are, but it is quite hot where we are. All right, you guys. So we've got a lot to talk about tonight. We've got Johnny Depp and Jeff Beck's, we've got Johnny Depp and Jeff Beck's album. To be released on July 15th, 2022. We have a very large sum of money that was donated by Johnny Depp in the amount of $800K. We are going to do Twitter highlights, so let me get that ready for us first. And then we'll go into, Amber Heard and all her circus of fuckery, because that will never end. So join all, come one. Did you guys know I was looking up circus lingo? Because I'm starting my merch shop, right? And I was trying to find like a name for my merch shop, and I wanted it to be really circusy. And I was looking up the circus lingo. And did you guys know that like concession stands are called garbage stands or something like that? It's really weird. Like I was looking up all the circus lingo, carnival, stuff, wondering, are they going to know what that even means? Because I sure as hell don't. But yeah, that was fun. And then I've got some stuff I want to show you as well. I want to show you some of I'm sampling some stuff, y'all. I don't have my t-shirts ready just yet, but I did purchase a couple of generic t-shirts on Amazon. and really cool, like circus staff, circus crew, really cute shirts. So if you guys want to, grab one of those, I will share with you guys what those look like. And I will wear one. It wasn't done. It's my fault. I meant to wash them and dry them before I started the show, and I washed them too late, because I like to wash everything and get it all like literally in hot water and then dry it to see if the true size of what I buy from Amazon is really going to hold up to the review. Because I'm new on Amazon and I'm kind of doing reviews on Amazon as well, just to kind of share with you guys what I'm doing there. But I have some hats as well that I created. So first, we're going to start with Twitter highlights as usual, because I think those are kind of important just to see what the newest shenanigans that are going on are happening. So let me go ahead and just dive into this, and then we'll talk more about what's happening. So let me go into my profile here and let me screen share really quickly. So how was your Saturday night, you guys? Are you doing well? I hope so. Let me go ahead and grab the window here. And now, if I play anything, I got to switch the window, because this particular window I'm sharing, it doesn't turn off the mic. So I may have to I may have to go back and forth with the screen share. But good evening, J-Cat. How are you? But anyway, here's my Twitter. I kind of share this often because I want to share with you guys what's going on. So, I thought was interesting, and it says big. Let me put myself really small so you guys can see kind of like the bigger picture. But I saw this from the right side of the Roaring Rapids, and it says Amber Heard is desperate. The trial was televised for transparency, and the world became witness to credible evidence and testimony of witnesses of merit. That proves, I guess, beyond all doubt that she is the sole proprietor of abuse, malicious, false allegations. The PR ploy is a failure. So this is from Femme. It says error on the jury panel is not grounds for a mistrial or appeal. So if those of you that have been hearing about this mistrial and appeal, LawTube has been going over that quite a bit. So hopefully you've seen Emily's stream, or you've seen Bricado's stream, or someone's stream that has kind of went over that. I know the DUI guy was talking about that, I believe, tonight as well. So I don't know if he streamed before me. I was reluctant to stream tonight, but I like to keep my schedule. So, just to kind of get the channel some exposure. But anyway, so she was saying that the error in the jury here, let's go straight to her post here. But she says Amber Heard's team recognizes this, which means she is spending money on motions she knows are worthless. Why PR spin? I'm sure CHLA would love to have the money you're knowingly wasting, and Amber, it's better, Amber, and it's better PR. So this here is Miss Heard recognizes that the code, blah, 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 states that any error in the information shown on the jury panel shall not be grounds for mistrial or assignable as error on appeal. So this was important to kind of make light to the public so that they understand, all this talk of appeal, there's really no evidence whether it's going to fly. I know a lot of LawTube does not think it is going to fly. So this here says this is kind of more of that in like more clear terms, or more detailed terms, if you will. So I don't know what that little, because my X is in my way. So I don't know if you can see that, but it says something, I can't see that. 01-353, notice to jurors making copy of jury panel available to counsel. Objection to notice. A, the sheriff shall notify the jurors on the list, or such number of them as the judge may direct to appear in court on such day as the court may direct. Such notice shall be given a juror as provided by 8.01-298. Verbal direction given by the judge or at his direction to a juror who has been given notice as herein before, provided that he appear at a later specified date, shall be a sufficient notice, if that makes any sense, because that kind of threw me as well. Any notice given as provided herein shall have the effect of an order of court. No particular time in advance of the required appearance shall be necessary for verbal notice hereunder, but the court may, in its direction, excuse from service a juror who claims lack of sufficient notice. Upon request, the clerk or sheriff or the officer responsible for notifying jurors appear in court for the trial of a case shall make available to all counsel of record in that case a copy of that jury panel to be used for the trial of the case at least 3 full business days before the trial. Such copy of the jury panel shall show the name, age, address, occupation, and employer of each person on the panel. Any error in the information shown on such copy of the jury panel shall not be grounds for mistrial or assignable as error on appeal. And the parties in the case shall be responsible for verifying the accuracy of such information. And then I'll just read B as well. No judgment shall be arrested or reversed for the failure of the record to show that there was service upon a juror of notice to appear in court unless made a ground of exception in the trial before the jury is sworn. And then there are the code numbers. So I thought that was really important to share. That way, for those of you that are hearing people talk about this mistrial, and all of the question in regards to the mistrial, you guys kind of know some of the stuff that's been shared on Twitter, as far as the grounds. And that was actually posted today on July 9th, 2022, if you did see that. Sorry, took a drink of my tea. So anyway, I thought that was really interesting, and I retweeted that this morning as well. So what else did I want to share and make light of? Let's see. What else was I wanting to share with you guys? Oh, I thought this was kind of cool. So today's marks the 19 years since Captain Jack Sparrow was born. So I thought that was really cool to share. And so someone shared this little clip of how Johnny Depp makes the set very comfortable and comical and just really relaxed. So there is a little bit of audio with this, which I thought was funny. He said, take that as well. It's his wig. So apparently it came off when he was carrying her. So I thought that was cute. So this was when when the movie started, which I thought was really cool. So people are marking that today is the anniversary date of that. It said 19 years ago. I don't know how is it really been that long since? But it says behind the scenes of the masterpiece released 19 years ago, and the way Johnny makes always everyone on the set laugh. I didn't know that Pirates was that old. I did not know that. Wow. So this was kind of fun. I'll turn the sound off on that. But everybody was kind of making note to that. History were made when they introduced Johnny Depp as Jack Sparrow 19 years ago today. So that was very much being highlighted today on Twitter. And then, of course, we've got some people that were posting pictures, good memories of Johnny Depp. So I thought that was pretty cool. I love Selena. You guys, I'm a big fan of Selena Gomez. So I saw this and thought this was cute. She was running through a hallway. I know that's not Johnny Depp related, but I thought that was just cute. I'm a very big fan of Selena. I'm a Selena-nator, a Selinator, or whatever they call. Anyway, here's another picture of Johnny. Hey, Eve Barlow. That's funny. And then, of course, him playing in, I don't think this is new because his hair is short in this one. Also, it looks like he is in an ad. I don't know if it's an official ad. Brad Pitt also has a new movie coming out, Bullet Train. I wonder if Sandra Bullock's in that too. Is she in that too? I thought I just saw her just a second ago. Anyway, I think it's a comedy, so I'm excited to see that. I don't know if any of you guys know that, but Bullet Train is Brad Pitt's newest movie. If you guys are Pitt fans, because I just did something on Brad Pitt and Angelina and their divorce. More pictures of Johnny Depp, Fleetwood Mac, because I'm a big Steve. I thought this was really cute. So someone posted this picture where he did a little selfie with her, which I thought was really cute. So a lot of times, you guys, I just do Twitter highlights to share with you guys. Oh God, she's just trash. She's trash. Every time I see her, she just pisses me off. And whatever the hell she put in her cheeks is just freaky. Don't you guys think that? Whatever she has in her cheeks, look at, even on the side, you can see those things that she got on her cheeks keep popping out. So weird. So this is another post. Actions speak louder than words. Okay, so here is the a part of what we were talking about Johnny. So this Johnny Depp donates 800,000 to charities, and this is one of the post, and it says charity update. Johnny Depp's Never Fear Truth sale was always intended to benefit charities, and we are pleased to be able to confirm that nearly 800,000 in total donations have been contributed to the following organizations. So that's pretty cool. So people have been pointing that out as Amber Heard faces new legal battle, this time with her insurer over Depp suit. So she keeps getting in deeper, and Johnny Depp keeps doing better things for the public. So I love that, right? I mean, he's a generous person, as we know it anyway. So I think, he's going to continue to just be himself and do what he does best. All right, what else did I want to share with you guys? So this I saw from Chris Melcher. I don't know if any of you guys follow Chris Melcher on the tweets, but this Chris said the Depp Heard verdict remains safe and sound despite a leaked court filing making further allegations against a juror. Now, Emily D, she had several of the law tubers. Runkle was on there. Law and Lumber was on there, and Hogue was on her live stream. I just saw it this morning. I believe it was from here. One second. I'm trying to involve myself instead of having you way down there on the corner that you can't see. Anyway, she had Runkle on, she had Law and Lumber on, and she had Hogue on. And so they were talking about this new filing in terms of the juror investigation, and it just never ends, you guys. I don't think anything, is really going to come of that based on what they were saying anyway. But this is what Chris posted, and he just said Johnny Depp's verdict thrown into chaos as wrong juror seated in Virginia trial. Amber Heard says wants new trial. And so, but he wanted to make everybody comfortable that it's safe and sound. So apparently this was surfing around on the interwebs, floating around, and people were getting nervous, wondering if we were going to have to go through this all over again. And apparently we are not. So at least as of late, we are not. So, that was something interesting as well. This was really funny. It says found this by accident, and it's a keeper. So Amber Heard's finishing school for wayward skills. So the Wayward Skills Handbook, create division discussions, manipulative communication, shit in their bed, sad fish to misdirect, and demand attention. So I don't really know what that's about. I just saw it and I thought, I don't know, I saw her. So I also saw this, and this was another thing I wanted to bring out on here. I saw this and I retweeted it. Not sure a lot of this, but I will definitely show you guys. So Netflix set to back Johnny Depp's next film. So let me go ahead and read this. This is a Singapore paper, you guys. The Straits Times 9, so July 9th, in case you guys are curious. So Los Angeles Netflix is set to finance and stream Johnny Depp's next film, a bet on the actor's first feature role following his defamation case. Following his defamation trial against his ex-wife, actress Amber Heard, and what he claimed was a wider boycott in Hollywood studios. The French period film, so this looks like it's the King Louis XV, I believe, right? Do I have that right? Will receive financial backing from Netflix, according to two people familiar with the matter, who asked not to be identified because the terms have not been announced publicly. Directed by Maywin Lebesco. The film is expected to be released next year in French theaters and will be available on Netflix France 15 months later. It is not clear whether it will be available on Netflix worldwide, but representatives for Netflix and the film's French producer, Why Not Productions, declined to comment for this story. LA Favorite will be Depp's first cinema role since Hollywood turned its back on the actor after his ex-wife, blah, 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 blah. The actor won. Yeah. We already know all that. The same jury awarded. Oh my God. Depp was last featured in a film in 2020, and this will be his first time acting in French. Oh, he's doing this in French. Did anybody of you guys know that? I sure as heck didn't know that. Oh, thank you. Thank you, JCat. Yeah, I try. I mean, whatever I see that's really like whatever I see, you guys, that I want to kind of highlight before we go into what I have to say about things, I do like to share just because, I try to keep up with what's going on Twitter so that in case you guys aren't, some people are not on Twitter. And others that are on Twitter may not follow the same people that I follow. So, I like to share that. Most of the people on Twitter now are on YouTube. So, you can find The Real Laura B on YouTube now. You can find Brian McPherson, who is incredibly average. I believe he has a channel now and they're starting to live stream there. I know that, I don't know if Jax has a channel yet, but I do know that, I know they have a podcast together, Jax and Brian. And then, that umbrella guy has a lot of information as well. And I follow him on Twitter. So anyway, there's a lot of people that are related that I follow that are related to the Johnny Depp case that I like to make sure. And I mean, the case is kind of closed at this point, but anything and everything that I can find to share with you guys that I feel like is current and that is beneficial to you in terms of entertainment and education and in general on what articles are being noted in case you haven't seen them. So that's why I do that. But anyway, I don't know if he says acting in French. So apparently he's going to be speaking French possibly in this film. I hope not though, because that'll be hard to understand. It is set to be shot this summer over 3 months on locations, including the Versailles, right? Castle? I don't know. According to the Figaro newspaper, following a recent agreement with French cinema guilds, Netflix and other streaming platforms are expected to spend a share of their revenue on local films. Netflix said it would invest a total of 40 million, which is 57.8 million in French movies this year, with the Depp film being one of its first picks. Lebesco will play Madame du Barry, the famous mistress of Louis the 15th, right? She has directed critically acclaimed films such as Palazzi. Am I saying that right? I don't know. 2011 and Monroy. In 2015, other upcoming French films selected by Netflix include the comedy Asterix and Obelix, right? And all that. So these are all foreign names and stuff. Directed by this foreign director and directed by actress and filmmaker Reem Carisi, maybe. According to the company. So this was Bloomberg. It says Bloomberg. I'm not sure because whoever Lokita Dye did not post like the original newspaper. You know what I mean? Like it. And I apologize. I was reading that and you guys couldn't even see it. I so apologize for that. Anyway, as you can see down here on the bottom right, it says Bloomberg right there. So I'm not sure who the publisher is of this newspaper, but I don't, I wanted to make sure and let you guys know that this was out. So that was kind of interesting. And that is from today, July 9th, 2022. So that was another highlight for Twitter. I thought this was cute. A lot of people show like old pictures of Johnny Depp, but someone noticed that that they're playing footsies with each other, which I thought was cute as well. So I kind of retweeted that. Here's another post. The New York Marine and General Insurance Company has filed a lawsuit against Amber Heard in federal court. So let's go ahead and look at this up close. And this is what it says. The jury's factual findings established that Heard's liability is caused by the willful act of Heard, the suit said. So this is what the LA Times says. Amber Heard is facing legal battle on a new front, this time with her insurance company. New York Marine and General Insurance Company filed a lawsuit against the Aquaman actor Friday, which was the 8th. July 8th, 2022 in federal court, seeking a ruling about whether it has to pay Heard for her unsuccessful defense on a defamation lawsuit brought by her ex-husband, Johnny Depp. The insurance company said in the lawsuit that it doesn't believe it has an ongoing obligation to defend Heard. A spokesman for Heard was not immediately available for comment on Friday. So I think, in my opinion, I do believe, and you guys can, like I said, I'm not an attorney. I don't, I'm just a person kind of commenting on this, like everyone else. But I do want to say that, oh my God, I lost my train of thought. Can you believe that? I lost my train of thought. I know what I was going to say. So I think this also, I believe the ongoing is including the motions and stuff that keep getting filed. So I think that's what they're talking about, because she just won't let this die. So I think that ongoing fight to an appeal and all of this new stuff that, Elaine keeps filing, I think that's what they're talking about, that they're not going to fund that. So just so you guys know, that's what they're talking about. In my opinion, I could be wrong. You can re-verify with one of the law tubers if you want to watch a stream and just kind of listen for them to talk about that, or do a super chat and maybe they can verify that. But anyway, I did want to go ahead and just say that. But an actual controversy has arisen and now exists between plaintiff on the one hand, and Heard on the other hand, with regard to the duties and obligations owed between plaintiff and Heard under the policy with respect to indemnity for her actions in the Depp case, the insurance company said in its filing. Page 2. Now, her insurance company says it does not believe it has to pay Heard on the policy, which provided liability protection up to $1 million. The lawsuit said the insurance company had written a policy for Heard in 2019. Plaintiff contends it has no duty to defend Heard based on California Insurance Code 533. The insurance company said in its complaint, the state code provides that an insurer is not liable for a loss caused by the willful act of the insured. The lawsuit said. The insurer said it had initially advised Heard it would have provided a legal defense, but under California law, it did not have to provide an indemnity for her actions. The jury's factual findings establish that Heard's liability is caused by the willful act of Heard, New York Marine and General Insurance Company suits said. So that is what has been, spoken about. And this was also, if you can see here where my pink cursor is, that was also posted today, July 9th, 2022, this morning. So that is a new post. So that's important for us to understand that these posts that I'm sharing with you guys are not old. So now we're just going to keep going down the line here just to make sure I'm not forgetting anything important. So you guys are in the loop and up to date in reference to what a lot of tweeters are saying, if you will. That's a good picture of him. Happy weekend to all my Depp relatives. Yeah, we're all family, right? So let's see. Oh, so this is Heli Air Monaco. So it says helicopter airlines since 1976. So it looks like Johnny Depp, I believe, is possibly maybe the face of that. I mean, I'm not sure. I just saw this on the tweets and wanted to share that. So I don't know if he has a contract with them or what have you, but I thought that was cool. So when it comes to Johnny Depp. And James Caan passed away, you guys. Oh my God, I was so sad. I mean, R.I.P. James Caan. If you guys are Godfather, fans, or if you saw Elf, he was in Elf. Longtime actor, he's up there with Robert De Niro and Al Pacino and all of those. And his son is an actor. James Caan's son is an actor. He was in Ocean's 11 along with Casey Affleck. If you guys like Casey Affleck. So they were kind of the funny team in all the Ocean's movies. So that was a great, I don't know if you guys are Ocean 11's fans, but I sure am. So that was kind of cool. But I did kind of want to say something about that because RIP for James Caan, we've been losing a lot of good actors lately, recently. Oh gosh, the Goodfellas, he passed away. Ray Liotta passed away recently. So I'm sure next year, when we have our awards, or maybe towards September when all the awards start coming out, we're going to see a lot of tributes to the greats. We've lost a lot of big actors and some comedians recently in the last 6 months or so. So RIP to James Caan. My prayers and well wishes go out to his family because he was a legend, but they said he was battling with his health the last year. So if you guys are James Caan fans, that's just something that I wanted to kind of go ahead and share with you guys as well. All right. So those are the Twitter highlights, you guys. I hope you got the best out of those. Oh, I'm sure Barbara Streisand, I need to follow her on Twitter, actually. I'm a big Barbara Streisand fan as well, but I didn't see her or her husband say anything about that. So I'll have to look into that as well, and maybe we'll share something on that on Monday. But yeah, that was very, very sad. So moving on to some of the articles. So I did bookmark some of the things I wanted to share with you guys when it comes to Amber Heard and when it comes to Johnny Depp. So we're going to start with Johnny Depp. So we'll go back to sharing, screen sharing. So this is my bookmarks here. So I'm going to go ahead and start here, and we're going to just talk about the charity donations. So this has been reported in 3 different newspapers. So the Independent is probably the most reliable, honestly. So do you hear my cup whistling? Sorry about that. Anyway, so yes, so this is kind of Johnny Depp donates earnings from his Never Fear Truth sale to charity associated with Amber Heard's One of the 4 beneficiaries of the nearly $800,000 in proceeds was the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles. So this was posted 11 hours ago, in case you guys didn't know that. And it says Johnny Depp has donated the proceeds from NFT, which is Never Fear Truth, for those of you that don't know what the acronym means, sale to 4 charities, including the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles, which has ties to Amber Heard. On Wednesday, July 6th, Depp Never Fear Truth, non-fungible token, right? You guys know I struggle with reading, obviously. Platform announced that it had raised nearly $800,000 in total donations, which was split between 4 organizations. So not the whole $800,000, you guys, was donated just to specifically to the LA hospital. Just to kind of make that clear, the donation and the total charity of $800,000 kind of was spread out to different hospitals. So I did want to go ahead and make light of that. So the 4 hospitals that were involved are, the tweet went on to name the beneficiaries. So that would be Perth Children's Hospital Foundation, Great Ormond Street Hospital Children's Charity, via CAF America, and that's for both of those children's hospitals. And then the Footprint Coalition, which I do believe the Footprint Coalition, if you guys are not familiar, I saw something, I don't know if it was on Twitter or somewhere else, but I believe the Footprint Coalition is related to Robert Downey Jr.'s charity. So in case you guys didn't know that, I wanted to point that out because, you know, Johnny Depp and Robert Downey Jr. are very, very good friends. So I do know that part of that went to that hospital also. And then the 4th was the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles. So obviously 4 hospitals, it must have been $200,000 probably each, since it was 8. So I would think that that's probably the way they did it. And then let's see, sorry, you guys, sometimes when I go on these websites, there's so many pop-ups that I have my security stuff, guarding my computer. So I think that's what the little delay is there. So let me see if I can just repopulate that really quick. Because otherwise it won't let me scroll down. Let me try it again. Sometimes it's just going to lock it down. I think I have McAfee or Malwarebytes or something on there doing its thing. But this is part of, it could be, I don't know. I think I have like some kind of protection or something that's keeping that from, see how it's spinning up there? Gotta love that. In the meantime, while that's uploading, we'll go back to that in just a second because I don't want to make you guys wait. But yeah, Johnny Depp has an album released with Jeff Beck. If you guys are not familiar with that, it comes out July 15th. Johnny Depp has made his first career move since the end of the controversial defamation trial against ex-wife Amber Heard, but it has absolutely nothing to do with movies. Depp and legendary English guitarist Jeff Beck are deepening their professional relationship by releasing a joint album called 18 on July 15th. So for those of you that are interested, they have this album coming out. Gosh. And so I'm sure if you're following, sorry, these things, these websites and stuff, y'all, is just, it's too much, way too much. Like it's they have so many ads and stuff. Jeez, I just don't. Sorry about that. Anyway, so if you're looking to find out more information about it's on jeffbeck.com. So Jeff Beck does have a website that is going to talk about the album, which I think is really cool, because the first thing I think of when I see this is going to be the cover of their album. So the first thing I think of is Take On Me. Take on me, take on me, take me on. I'll be gone. I just don't remember who that is, but it was a European band. You guys remember Take On Me? Anyway, that's what this reminds me of, but this is the cover. So bringing back the 80s for sure, just so you guys know. And I think it's cool. I really like it. I really think that's a cool cover for them. So this is Jeff Beck's, website, and I'm sure Johnny Depp has one possibly as well. You guys, this whole thing of, I understand, oh my God, just get off. These pop-ups and stuff, they just stop everything. So anyway, like I said, July 18th, so you want to look for this. This was actually posted July 9th, 2022, which is today. So this says, for the 13th track collection, the legendary guitarist and Hollywood Vampires co-founder record a range of covers that touch on Motown, the Beach Boys, John Lennon, the Velvet Underground, Killing Joke, and more, along with 2 Depp original compositions. First single, the Depp original, that is a song for Miss Hedy Lamarr. This is a song for Miss Hedy Lamarr, and I did see it was very interesting. I saw a documentary on Hedy Lamarr, which I thought was very interesting. So you guys can look those. I saw it on YouTube. So if you guys are interested in who Hedy Lamarr is and you want to kind of understand what that song's about, if you're that interested, you may not be that interested, but I was like, who is this Hedy Lamarr he keeps talking about? Because this picture kept popping up everywhere. And so you can look up Hedy Lamarr just in the YouTube search bar, and you'll see the story of she was an actress. So definitely check that out if you guys are interested. But yeah, so let me go ahead and, oh, you guys, this is so pissing me off. Sorry. It's got pop-ups and it's just blocking everything. Okay. So I don't know, you guys, that whole bottom thing there is got me on lockdown. I don't know why. Okay, so this also says Los Angeles Jeff Beck found a kindred spirit in Johnny Depp when the two met in 2016. They bonded quickly over cars and guitars and spent most of their time together trying to make each other laugh. Can you guys see that? I hope so. Sorry, you guys, that bottom banner, y'all, I don't know what the F, but it's got me on lockdown. I can't get it off. Look at, even when I try, I think it's because it's a pop-up blocking it. I'm just giving you, see how it says, I don't know if you guys can see that up here on the top on the left hand side, but it says not secure. I think that's why it does that. Anytime I go to a website that I have trouble with, it blocks it down so I can't get, there we go. All right. So anyway, they met and they had a lot in common apparently. And so let's see, Depp agreed. Wait a minute. Oh, cards and guitars. Okay. At the same time, Beck's appreciation grew for Depp's serious songwriting skills and his ear for music. That talent and their chemistry convinced Beck they should make an album together. So that's what caused them to make an album together. Depp agreed, and they started in 2019. Over the next 3 years, they recorded a mix of Depp originals along with a wide range of covers that touches on everything from Celtic and Motown, or Celtic, depending on the way you want to pronounce that, but and to the Beach Boys and Killing Joke. In 2020, during the pandemic, they previewed their collaboration with their well-timed cover of John Lennon's Isolation. The duo's 13-track album, dubbed 18, will arrive on July 15th. Beck explains the album title, "When Johnny and I started playing together, it really ignited our youthful spirit and creativity. We would joke about how we felt 18 again. So that just became the album title too. 18 will be available on CD and digitally with a 180-gram black vinyl version. Ooh, that's kind of cool. Coming on September 30th. So 18. So the album itself will be released in July 15th, 2022. And then it will come later on vinyl, apparently, on September 30th. So if you're a person that collects records, you know, because Johnny Depp's on it, it's his first album ever in his lifetime. You may want to keep that. It probably is going to be worth some money. So if you guys want to keep that for eBay's sake, you may want to just purchase one while they're affordable. And then let's see, the cover features an illustration of Beck and Depp as 18-year-olds that was drawn and designed by Beck's wife, Sandra, which is cool. I'm telling you, that really gives me an 80s vibe. Very, very Take On Me-ish. I don't remember the name of the band if somebody wants to Google the name of the band. But you guys, if you're an 80s kid like I was, then you know Take On Me was a very, very popular band. It was a Euro band, and they came out with that first sort of illustration animation kind of video. Remember, it was all done in sketch. So that was kind of cool if you guys are fans of that band like I was. Okay, so leading up to the release of 18, Beck has launched a European tour with Depp as special guest, which will conclude on July 25th at L'Olympia in Paris, L'Olympia in Paris. For the last 12 years, Depp has recorded and toured with the Hollywood Vampires, a band he started with Alice Cooper and Joe Perry. The supergroup has released 2 studio albums that include great appearances by some of rock's biggest names, Paul McCartney, Dave Grohl, and Joe Walsh. The list also includes Beck, who played guitar on Welcome to the Bushwhackers, a song on Rise, the Vampires' second album, which came out in 2019. Soon after, Depp asked Beck to play lead on the tune he'd written, the album's first single. This is a song for Miss Hedy Lamarr and homage to the actress Inventor. Beck says it was the catalyst for the collaboration and is one of his favorite songs on the new album. I was blown away by it, he says. That song is one of the reasons I asked him to make an album with me. The track is available today digitally along with an accompanying music video. Click here to review now. There is no click here. So if there was a click here, there would be a hyperlink there, but there's no hyperlink there. Of Beck, Depp adds, it's an extraordinary honor to play and write music with Jeff. So this is Johnny Depp added to that it was an honor to play and write music with Jeff Beck, one of the true greats and someone I am now privileged enough to call my own, to call my brother. In the studio, Beck says he and Depp challenged each other to leave their comfort zones with the songs they chose to cover. I haven't had another creative partner like him for ages, Beck says. He was a major force on this record. I just hope people will take him seriously as a musician because it's a hard thing for some people to accept that Johnny Depp can sing rock and roll. Depp justifies Beck's faith on the new album by showing off his incredible emotional range on songs like the Velvet Underground's Venus in Furs, the Everly Brothers ballad Let It Be Me, and Marvin Gaye's soul classic What's Going On. Oh, I'd like to hear that. I love that song by Marvin Gaye. On the instrumentals, Beck demonstrates why he's universally reversed as a guitar god with stunning versions of Davy Spillane's or Spillane's. Girl, you already know. I can't. Midnight Walker, the 2 songs from the Beach Boys' masterpiece Pet Sounds, Caroline, No, and Don't Talk. Put your head on my shoulder. Whoa, whoa. Oh my God, I'm a huge oldies fan. Do any of you guys know oldies? I mean, I will sit there and like try to figure out what the hell I'm going to do on the computer, and I'll be listening to like the best of the Delphonics, the best of Stylistics. I'll listen to Mary, what's her name? Mary somebody, Mary Wells. You know what I mean? Like I listen to oldies all the time. My dad loved oldies. So, and just growing up. So anyway, this is all about their album. So I'm kind of glad I featured that, but this is the actual album if you guys are curious. So it's called 18, Jeff Beck and Johnny Depp 18 track listing. So here are all the songs they're covering, available on digital and CD version only. And then here's their tour dates. So I know a lot of people have been wanting to see Johnny Depp live, but you can go to jeffbeck.com and you can see in case he is coming to somewhere you might want to travel or something like that, because I do believe this was a European tour. So, and the dates are subject to change, just so you guys know. But you've still got time if you are in the UK or wherever, you know, if you want to, like I said, take a trip to somewhere you've never been. That's always an option, right? If you can afford it. So that is part of one of the features I wanted to talk about. So we kind of covered that. Let's go back to the charity. So you guys, what was stopping my website before was this right here. So that's what it was, is this thing was popping up and it wouldn't let me go past it. Remember? So we did cover the four hospitals. That's where we left off before before this nonsense all started happening right here. So on the fourth beneficiary charities, the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles has been associated with Depp's wife. So we did talk about that. During the estranged couple's recent defamation trial, it was revealed Heard had failed to donate her $7 million. So it looks like there's quite a few celebrities and quite a few people that are trying to do, I don't know. It seems like the public as well, just general public, YouTubers, social media influencers of all platforms, probably TikTok as well, are trying to do some charities because they feel bad because Amber Heard promised something she never panned out. So, I mean, if you guys are aware, you know, Legal Bites did a charity fundraiser with Johnny Depp's best friend. You can go on Legal Bites' channel and see that live stream if you want to see who his best friend was. Excuse me. That was an 8-hour stream. I do believe it was done on the weekend, and they ended up grossing 180,000, I believe. So it could have been higher, but I do believe that was right before she got married. So I do believe that her channel did raise money. I know the DUI guy also, I don't know if he did it for the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles. It may have been, but I do know his notebook from being in court, he sold for $15,000. And I believe that was fully donated to charity as well. So there have been a lot of people, you know, a lot of different, like I said, social media influencers, probably on all platforms, Instagram, TikTok, maybe even Twitter, that have tried to, you know, just, I don't know, they felt like in some way they just wanted to give back, you know, because of her lies, you know, like these children deserve, you know, to have that promise fulfilled. You know, there's a lot that the hospitals need for these kids, you know, in terms of treatment. And I just am happy that, you know, people have acknowledged that and have been doing some kind of charity. So I don't know, maybe I'll consider doing something like that. I'm such a small channel. I don't know what I could raise, but I could try. So that's that. So let's move on and talk about the rest of this article real quick before we wrap this part of it up. So during his estranged couple's recent defamation trial was revealed. Okay. So, and then, that was pledged. And so she pledged that, you guys, she pledged that back in 2016. Now, a lot of you guys may remember that, but I sure as hell didn't. I don't know why. I mean, I know she said it on UK Air. I know she said it on an international show or whatever, but I didn't realize that it was that long ago. So that's a really long time for children to be waiting, or for hospitals to be waiting for this money, you know, to help kids in any way. So I think that's really fantastic after this trial, that, like I said, a lot of people have really been going out of their way, making donations and just, you know, doing anything they can to use their platform for good. So I think that's pretty awesome. So let's go ahead and keep, so it says one of the two charities Heard said was split. One of the two charities Heard said she would split the settlement between was the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles, and the other was the American Civil Liberties Union. So after the announcement of Depp's Never Fear True sale, fans praised the Pirates of the Caribbean actor for his never-ending kindness. Alluding to the trial, one person wrote, "And this, ladies and gentlemen, is philanthropy, and the difference between an unfulfilled pledge and a straight donation. P.S. Pledges most often have a schedule for fulfillment and a signed pledge vehicle. I'm certain these organizations are very grateful." Heard was subject to intense under cross-examination from Depp's attorney, Camille Vasquez, during the trial when she claimed that she had been unable to honor those pledges because of the legal costs, which, by the way, apparently she's not paying anyway. Hi, Brenna. So this has kind of just been, how people are just going out of their way to, sorry, I'm going to have to refresh that so we can get through it. Hold on one second. So the Aquaman star has also said, has also used the word pledged and donated interchangeably, and then separately compared making the donations to buying a house through mortgage. Yeah, you guys remember that. I do remember that when she was on the stand. I still haven't had a chance to summarize I know I've been recording quite a bit of their testimony, you guys. It takes a minute to clip it all together, because there was like 2 days of his and 2.5 days, I believe, of his, and I think maybe even 2.5 days of hers. So I'm not sure about that, but either way, to put those testimonies together, it takes a minute to do that. All right. So so the rest of this, let's see. So the Aquaman star has also said she used the word pledge and donate interchangeably, and then separately compared making the donations to buying a house. Oh my God. I pledged the entirety to the charity. When you say you buy a house, you don't pay for the entire house at one time. You pay it over time. Oh my God. An anonymous juror in the defamation trial opposing Depp and Heard previously said the revelation that she did not donate the divorce settlement to charity, as she claimed, was a fiasco in the eyes of the jury. I believe it. I mean, I don't think, for all this crap talking about, this investigating this juror and all that. Come on now. It's a little too much. So, Heard, this basically right here, this paragraph just kind of goes through the trial itself and, what it was all about, which we already kind of know, all of that. So it says, do you think the jurors sitting there, anyway, this is all quotes from her and him. So I don't really think we need to continue to talk about that. But basically, Johnny Depp, pretty much fulfilled an $800,000 bill. So he, splitting that over the 4 charities, I think is more than fantastic. I think that it's nice that he split it over, like he did more than just the 2, or more than just, I mean, I think the fact too that he did a donation to Robert Downey Jr.'s cause as well is pretty awesome. So that was nice of him. All right, so we talked about her again. Oh my God, the circus of fuckery never stops. We did the Twitter highlights. We talked about his album. Now, all right. What was the next one? So, next thing is, I'm going to talk about her fuckery. And y'all know, for the 6 of you that are here, I can't do the fuckery thing. I can't do the fuckery thing, you guys, without my circus signature, right? So before we talk about sitting on the bleachers of the circus of fuckery, we cannot move on without our little intro to the circus of fuckery, because it's just too good. So let's go ahead and interrupt this broadcast. 1, 2, 3, go.
You're traveling through another dimension. A dimension not only of sight and sound, but of mind. A journey into a wondrous land whose boundaries are that of imagination. Your next stop, the Twilight Zone. A hotel suite that in this instance serves as a den of crime. The aftermath of a rather minor event to be noted on a police blotter insurance claim, perhaps a 3-inch box on page 12 of the evening paper. Small addendum to be added to the list of the route. A camera. A most unimposing addition to the flotsam and jetsam. Mentioning really because cameras are cameras. Some expensive, some purchasable in 5 and dime stores. But this camera, this one's unusual. Because in just a moment we'll watch it inject itself into the destinies of 3 people. It happens to be a fact that the pictures that it takes can only be developed in the twilight.
I can't. I love that thing. It's a little bit long. I could have curved it into like 40 seconds, but it's okay. So, one of the things that I want to talk about tonight, before we go into the Amber Heard circus of fuckery, all the happenings of fuckery are happening. Okay, so because first we had the motion for the juror. Remember, we had the investigation, which I'm sure if you guys are following LawTube, you've heard all of them talk about it. Now, I said the last time that I streamed, because I wasn't feeling well. My mind, you guys, has been struggling. I've been really, really struggling with anxiety and depression a lot in the last week. I have some health issues, and so it's just been chronic the last few days, and it's just been horrible. But since I haven't been around, I told you guys the last time I streamed that I did want to hear what Emily had to say about this motion. So before we go into talking about what Emily said, because I do have it timestamped, I pulled it up while that was playing, and we are going to listen and comment on what she was saying in terms of the motion. This is the updated motion. Remember, this is not just the motion that we've been hearing everybody talk about on Twitter and YouTube and TikTok and, wherever, about just this juror being investigated or how they lied about their age or whatever. It's not about that. It's more or less about hearing what Emily had to say, because there were other LawTubers commenting. Oh yeah, really. There were other YouTubers commenting on what they were thinking and, going through this motion, reading it and the whole thing. I think we did that early, you guys. I think, but, because I'm not an attorney and I read the documents, and stuff like that, I can't know. I can't know. I don't really know if I'm relaying it properly, because if I'm just a person commenting on this whole stuff, like as if you're looking at it as well, just trying to get through these legal documents, because they are very difficult to understand if you're not in law. So before we go over that, we are going to talk about this ridiculous book bidding war. So what I did was I bookmarked Amber Heard's book deal. So there have been a few articles coming out in the last few days over the bidding war of Amber Heard's book. Supposedly this tell-all book that's supposed to come out. And it's been all the talk, all the talkings, all the happenings on Twitter. And this is what we're looking at. So I Googled it. And the first thing that came up was OK Magazine. We'll start then we'll go to Newsweek. I'm not really sure who else. New York Post as well. Celebrity Net Worth. Let's see. OK Magazine, Deadline. So let's go back one, because I feel like these are the two. These are kind of more known. OK Magazine. So here's one article that was 2 days ago, I believe, right? And so this says, talk about a payday. Amber Heard's tell-all book causing bidding war. Negotiations in ballpark of whopping $15 million. Well, that's good, because this is actually going out public, where she's not going to be able to say that for whatever reason, she cannot pay Johnny Depp the money. So if she thinks she's just going to go off and do this, book and scurry on away with this payout to save face or whatever, that's not going to happen. She's got all kinds of legal shenanigans going on all over. She's got happenings all over. She's got the Australian people literally doing a criminal investigation on her for the dogs. She's got the UK, the Black Belt Bannister has started a position to re-look into the verdict over there. Now, I know Johnny Depp did appeal and lost that appeal in the UK, but since the UK trial has been brought up so much, it's actually made other UK attorneys interested in possibly looking into that case and kind of dissecting it a little bit more. And since Black Belt Bannister has really started this petition, he believes in analytically, going through this case in the UK, that the verdict should be opened again, possibly, and talked about again. So we'll see what happens with that. I don't know. I haven't checked the petition lately, so I don't know how many people have signed at this point. I need to follow him on Twitter, because I don't think I'm following him. But that's just kind of something to bring up as in sequence of how this all started. So they brought up the UK trial so many times we could just our head could do a whole what's that called, exorcism thing, right? You know, because I love the way she says, I just want to get on with my life, I just want to move on, I want him to leave me alone, but yet she won't let the shit die while he's over there living his best life. I just absolutely love that. But so basically, you know, that's where it started. So it started where the UK case had been brought up so much. I think a lot of the UK attorneys wanted to start looking into it, and I think it's actually even sparked some interest of some psychologists as well. You know, even I mean, I've talked about that forensic psychologist that black belt barrister used on his stream, and I don't care for that guy. Based on his evaluation in the middle of the trial, I just didn't like, in my opinion, as an individual, I just wasn't feeling his evaluation. And basically it's because he was kind of leaning towards Amber Heard, like having some kind of substance or something. And I was like, he's got to be kidding me. So I'm very kind of I mean, you know, I'm very kind of careful and very skeptical when it comes to psychologists, you know, kind of breaking this apart in terms of how she responded in the trial. So that's just one of those things that I have to say on my own behalf, because I'm not, you know, I'm just one person. So you guys may, you know, see Black Belt Bannister's live stream with this forensic psychologist that I'm talking about. It is a male. Or you could go to his channel and, you know, they may talk about his evaluation at that time, because he did it in the middle of the trial when it was going on. And that's kind of how I base my attitude on him, or my opinion. And then moving forward and finding out that he did a live stream with Black Belt Bannister, I was just like, you know, I didn't agree with this guy, and I don't even think I want to hear what he has to say. So it's kind of my bad for not giving him a chance, because he may have changed his mind, but he just rubbed me the wrong way. And when someone rubs me the wrong way that way, I'm not interested. So, and also you guys, midway, I do want to say, remember that I did say that we were going to listen to a handwriting evaluation from a forensic analyst that does handwriting for Amber Heard. I know we talked about that the last Manic Monday. So we probably will start with that on Manic Monday, because she does talk about psychologically what she feels she has, since she is a psychologist. So I did think about opening up the show tonight with that, but I'm going to save that for Monday, because I really want to go ahead and keep on track with my schedule and how I do things around these parts. So stay tuned for that, you guys, because we will be listening to that. It is a bit long. It's about a 38-minute thing, but we'll do some commentary on it and listen to what she has to say, and we'll see what her thoughts were. She did that in April of 2022, and I think when she did that the trial had already started. So I think I was saying something back on last Monday when I was talking about everything, how I was going to feel about her evaluation, because the trial had already started, I believe. So I could be wrong, but I'm not sure. So anyway, so let's look at this. And you guys, I have to keep reloading this. I apologize. It's because there's banners on here. I've got those pop-up blockers on there. That's why. So anyway, so it seems to be this bidding war of 15 million. So this is what it says. Amber Heard may be able to pay Johnny the millions owed after all. OK reported Heard is gearing up to a. OK, let me stop. OK reported Heard is gearing up to drop a gut-spilling revenge memoir. The news of the shocking tell-all came after she lost the defamation case brought by her ex-husband over her 2018 op-ed in which she claimed to be a victim of abuse, and it is safe to say she'll be making a pretty penny from whatever deal she locks down. So it says, according to Radar, the actress book is causing a frenzy in the publishing world, with negotiations in the ballpark of a whopping 15 million, considering Heard lost the headline making 50 million lawsuit. Considering Heard lost the headline making 50 million suit, leaving her responsible for coughing up 8.35 million. The hefty price tag is likely very tempting for Heard to put the final touches on the highly anticipated memoir. Given that Heard considers her career in Hollywood over, she should, right? Because she's done. Following her massive defeat, an insider pointed out she has nothing to lose and wants to tell it to. Oh my God, what is wrong with you, girl? Get your shit together. Given that Heard considers her career in Hollywood over following her massive defeat, an insider pointed out she has nothing to lose and wants to tell it all. Right? Yeah. Regarding the tea she is ready to spill of the ex's tumultuous relationship. Okay, here's the thing with that. See, somebody already left because I can't read. I don't care. I don't blame them at all. I see the numbers fluctuate. That's why it grabs my mind. But here's the thing about that is that I'm very curious because remember when we went over this originally, we talked about when they went in for the appeal and the judgment order about how Ben Chu and Camille Vasquez did not bring up doing any kind of permanent injunction. And no one said anything. I haven't heard LawTube talk about if they're when the good time is for that. I'm very interested to know when is going to be the good time for that, because since she lost, I mean, isn't she not supposed to be opening her mouth anymore? Like, isn't she supposed to stop, talking about this and standing by her testimony till the end of her days and all that? It's like if she was proven that it didn't happen, then how can she continue to do this? So it's going to be very interesting how this pans out and how this rolls out, of this tell-all book that everybody keeps talking about, when all that's going to do is continue to defame him. And, I've also heard the attitude that who cares, let her do it. No one's going to buy the book anyway. So let me know in the chat. Would you be ever curious? I mean, if you're a reader, would you buy her book just to find out what she said? Or would you not give the time of day of the proceeds? Because, obviously, whatever residuals she makes from that book are going to go to her, I guess. Maybe that'll go to her debt. I don't know. Hopefully, what would be really funny to me? What would be really funny is if she did I haven't heard anybody say this, but I haven't been online. So let me know in the chat if you guys have heard anybody talk about this. But wouldn't it be hilarious if there was something put in writing that whatever deal she did, that the court would pull it? Like, how when you watch, how when you do something and you lose a judgment or something and they take money out of your check or whatever that's called. I forget what that's called. But wouldn't it be hilarious if whatever deals she made, they would take a portion of that to pay him? The court would she would be ordered that they would take that away. Wouldn't that be hilarious? I haven't heard any of the attorneys talk about that because nobody really talked about what happens after the fact. Like, they keep saying she can't continue to pay her attorneys. Now she's got this suit. Like I said, it started out with, black belt barrister in the UK case wanting to investigate that verdict. Then it went over to Australia, where now they're doing a criminal investigation on her for the dogs. And then now, there's this whole entire shenanigans going on with the jury and this and that. So it's just going to be very interesting how this all pans out when it all kind of comes to an abrupt end. So if they do exercise that permanent injunction, I'm very interested how that works. I have heard the attorneys talk about that briefly, but I haven't heard anybody kind of really go over it beyond that. So let me know if you guys have heard anybody, comment in the chat. Replay crew, if I had my camera, I left my camera in the car, so I don't have it today, but replay crew with my Dollar Tree camera. I love you guys more than life. Thank you so much. I am working on my streams, you guys. So I'm hoping that you're enjoying them. Please like the video if you guys are. I don't like to push the likes and the subby things and all that stuff a lot with you guys because I feel like that's overkill. But if you guys do enjoy the video, please make sure you like it and share it so that the streams can get more exposure and my channel can grow a little bit when it comes to live streaming. I would really appreciate that. But yeah, it would be really interesting, don't you think, if the court would would put something in writing or something in the final things, like saying that whatever earnings she had would be completely withheld, right? And go straight to Johnny. I just think that would be hilarious because everybody's talking about this book like she's just going to make a ton of money, and obviously it's been mentioned several times that Johnny Depp can sue her again if he wants, because she just keeps continuing to defame him. So it's kind of very, very interesting. And on top of that, Dare, because Dare is saying that she's saying, yes, I think they can garnish her wages to pay. Yeah, exactly. Garnish. That's what I was going to say. So you guys, if you're not familiar with my stream, I usually do my stream and then probably the last 20 to 30 minutes of my stream, I usually stream about 2.5 hours to 3 hours, depending on what kind of topics we're diving deep into. But the last 30 minutes are when I'm really going to continue to kind of go over the chat and see if you guys are asking any questions or you're making any comments that I can share. I also want to say that, stay tuned to the end of the stream if you can, because I am going to be talking about my appeal. You guys, I'm so nervous about my appeal. I became eligible yesterday for YouTube to reappeal for, having the monetization program. And I'm very nervous about that because I don't know what to say. I don't know how to get approved and I really need it. I honestly do. So I don't know kind of how to do that, but I am excited because if I can at least get past that hump, then you guys can do super chats and all that kind of stuff, which is going to be very exciting. But anyway, that's off topic. So yeah. So anyway, I think, as Dare said, that it would be very interesting if they were to garnish. So we'll see, what they say later about any earnings she makes. I think that's going to be very, very interesting. All right. So what I did as well, because that's part of the fuckery we were talking about from the beginning. There's not a lot really to talk about when it comes to Amber Heard, because this was really the only new addition we've been talking about when it comes to Amber Heard and all the shenanigans and all the fuckery that's going on in terms of circus acts, because the jury thing, Elaine continues to file motions. She continues to just gibber on, if you will. And I do believe in a second, we're going to hear just the snippet part of Emily's live stream where she talks about this motion. I really thought it was important to bring this up. And you guys know I don't like to review or comment on other people's stream, but this is important because there's been so much talk everywhere about this jury situation. And if you guys saw the beginning of the show, if you didn't, you can go back and watch it if you want. But in the first 30 to 45 minutes of the show, we did Twitter highlights, which therefore there was a few of those posts that went over all of this talk about this mistrial and investigating this juror and trying to find reasons for this experience to happen again. And we don't know what's going to happen with the appeal, but we're relying a lot on YouTube, on LawTube, and just trying to get some of their observations of what's going on. So so that was one of the reasons why I wanted to kind of go over Emily's portion of that. So the first thing that I wanted to cover, and we already did, was basically just Amber Heard's book deal. This was just OK Magazine. I can do one more, which is Newsweek. We can go and the reason why we can do Newsweek really quick before we move on to Emily's thing is because this one was posted one day ago. The OK Magazine, I don't know how reliable OK Magazine is, you guys. I'm not quite sure. But I do want to say that article I just read to you was 2 days old. And this one here was 1 day old. So it just says Amber Heard's 15 million book deal reports go viral. Internet reacts. So basically everybody's just trying to kind of chime in and jump in on this book deal thing. So if you guys are not following or subscribed to Court TV or Law and Crime, I would highly recommend to go ahead and follow Law and Crime. I know Anjet, is that her name? Anjet Levy. They have like a podcast type of thing that they do on their channel because it's a mainstream media network. And they talk about all the stuff that's going on. So make sure you guys are following Law and Crime. I'm not sure. I don't follow Court TV, so I can't really comment on Court TV. But I do know that Law and Crime has been, very kind of informative to me. And I do see a lot of the people that are following and very deep in this case. The real Laura B. I hear Jax and Brian talking about this. Andrea Burkhart has brought up Law and Crime. A lot of LawTube brings up Law and Crime. So I prefer Law and Crime more than I prefer Court TV, because I know even Tug talks about Court TV and how we shouldn't be following mainstream media in reference to, I don't know. I really don't understand all the politics of all that, but I'm just saying that I follow Law and Crime. So let's go ahead and read this one here from Newsweek. So this one is 1 day old, just so you guys know. So let me go ahead and enlarge this again for you guys. So this says Amber Heard's 15 million book deal reports go viral. Sorry about that. This thing is freezing on me again. I've got these stupid lockdowns, you guys. I've got these lockdowns on my channel, and it's like I've got these pop-up blockers, and when something's not secure, because see, they have all these pop-ups. I don't know if you guys have ever done this on your own computer, on your own. I think it's a little bit more strict on a laptop. I mean, excuse me, on an iPad. But for some reason, when I jump on here on Chrome, they've got all these, ads and stuff like this, so that it's the graphics and all that kind of stuff that stop my page from flowing. Anyway, so this is Newsweek, and this was from yesterday, so one day ago from Friday. It says Amber Heard is continuing to face attacks online following her highly publicized loss in court in the defamation trial against her ex-husband, Johnny Depp. As she is now being criticized over rumors she intends to release a tell-all book. Reports that the Aquaman star is working on a multi-million-dollar book deal following her recent legal battles have been circulating online for weeks with OK, reporting on plans for the release of a gut-spilling revenge memoir. Meanwhile, a report from Radar suggests that the prospect of a book has caused a frenzy in the publishing world, with negotiations reportedly in the region of $15 million. So, I got to read. So it sounds like everybody's just repeating the same thing. So obviously, they're hearing it from one place and just talking about another. Such reports have invited yet more criticism against the embattled actress, even though reports of such a book have not been confirmed. So honestly, it sounds like there is no real confirmation that she's going to do a book. It's just all the people talking about, right? That there's talks of her doing a book or whatever. So I don't know, you guys. I really don't know. I've been Googling stuff just like you guys. So Newsweek reached out to Heard's representatives for confirmation regarding the book rumors, but did not receive a response prior to publication. Of course not, because why? Why is it that? Why is that my circus junkies with me? Because they're too busy filing fucking motions, right? Elaine's too busy burning money doing that. It's just like, turn on your mic, Elaine. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, sit down. So anyway, so let's go ahead and see what Emily D, our favorite law tuber of all. She is the queen. She rules it all. So I do have this timestamp. I know I didn't stop it at a very pretty face there, but Emily D, I love her hair. So let me see if I can do this in 1080. Yeah, I can. So let me do it in 1080. And we'll see what Emily has to say about all these shenanigans. So let's go ahead and hear what she has to say. Now, I did timestamp this, so this is just request for mistrial. So she's got about maybe 15, 20 minutes on this. So we'll stop and go as we listen to her. But let's go ahead and hear what she had to say.
I have so many questions about why. This is properly redacted, so we're going to see some redactions in it. But let's crack on, and then we'll continue with the commentary. July 8th, 12:05.
That was yesterday.
Supplemental memoranda in support of Section 6 of defendant and counterclaim plaintiff Amber Heard's post-trial motions based on additional discoverable facts. So we found out more.
I've got it 100, Brenna. That's all I have.
Now, here is the more shit. Defendant and counterclaim plaintiff, we're just going to go with AH, because fuck. AH hereby supplements Section 7, damn it, 7 of her post-trial motion based on newly discovered facts and information.
Okay, so before I let Emily D go on, you guys, my computer is at 100. I cannot, I wish I could show you guys. I cannot, here, let me stop sharing real quick. Let me share it. Let me try to do it through Chrome really quick and see if that helps the sound. Hold on one second. Let me go. So in order to do this, so now I have it through Chrome, but I have it on 100, you guys. There's no, I can't do more than that. I've got my sound all the way up on StreamYard. I've got my computer all the way up on 100, and I've got YouTube all the way up on 100. So there's really nothing else I can do for you all. I do go ahead and encourage you guys to listen to this on earbuds, just because when I'm playing something, I always make sure to sound check everything, and there's really nothing else I can do in terms of sound. So I would say if you have any earphones or earbuds, it will help a lot. But other than that, you guys, I kind of, it's out of my hands, the power I have in terms of volume, because I've tried to give you guys everything full key that I have. So my apologies if it's hard to hear. I just say throw on some earphones really quick if you're listening from your phone or from an iPad, or even if you've got a laptop on, I would throw in your earbuds, or your earphones from your phone.
That juror number 15 was not the individual summoned for jury duty on April 11th, 2022. Cheryl, thank you so much for that super sticker. That's very sweet. I appreciate it. And therefore was not part of the jury panel and could not have properly served on the jury at this trial. Therefore, a mistrial should be declared and a new trial ordered. FFS if a new trial happens. Y'all, Hogue, we were talking about you earlier. Good to see you. Let's figure out what they figured out. Virginia law provides only those, quote, jurors whose names appear in the list provided under 8.01-348 and 8.01-351 shall be used for trial cases. Whose names appear on the list? Names. Shall be used for the trial of cases, civil and criminal, to be.
Okay, I was just caught up with the chat. Someone's saying I'm coming in virtual reality. Am I not coming in clear, you guys? Do I need to go out and come back in? Let me know in the chat, because I can go out and come back in. Let me see. Let me go out and come back in. Let me try that. Hold on one second, you guys. Okay, is that better? Is that better at all, you guys? Oh, crap. I don't know. Oh, gosh. Hold on one second. Oh, my goodness gracious. Was that for the whole stream? Oh, my Lord. Oh, shoot. Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay, wait. No, I don't have it set like that. I don't have it set like that. Hold on. You guys, I may have to come back. I may have to just I may have to come back. Oh my God, why am I in your face like that? There's nothing. Okay, I'm going to have to come back, you guys. I'm going to have to come back. There's nothing else I can do. I don't have it. I don't have it programmed like that. Crap. Okay, you guys, I'll be right back. How we doing, guys? Are we better now? Are we better now? How am I doing? Am I better? Yay. Oh my God. I wish I would have saw that like freaking an hour behind. I may have to like unlist that stream since it's so bad. I'm so sorry about that, you guys. I didn't know. I didn't know. Oh my God. In your face, huh? It was probably like in your face the whole time. You know what I'm saying? I'm so sorry. When someone said, I thought that was just your thing. No, not at all. Not at all. That's like that's like when they make those funny videos, you know, and they do those like microscope where you're like in a fishbowl. No, no. It was supposed to be streaming 720. But here's the thing. what I did different this time is I did because I didn't want a lot of feedback on the stream, because sometimes when you stream it will be like a 15-second delay. And so I was watching this video that said that if you do ultra latency, it's called, it should be like timestamp your voice with everything, you know, everything should be real time. So that's the only thing I changed. And so I didn't know that I was like in your face. I had no idea. So my deepest apologies. No wonder why I had like 5 million people. I had like the most, I always start out with like 20 people in the beginning, which is like a good day for me. And then it ends up like, I'll start doing something. I'll look away from the screen. I'll come back and there'll be like 2 people here. And then I'll come back and there'll be like 6 people here. And then I'll come back and then it'll, you know, I'll look to my left and then it'll be 2 people. And so it always fluctuates. So I never know why people leave. I just always think it's me like turning people off. So I never really know. And I should do more sound check. I should do like, you know what I mean? I should look more like, check it on my phone or something. So my deepest apologies, you guys. I did not know. I did not know, but live and learn, right? Especially as a streamer. Anyway, so we're going to go back. We're going to go back to Emily's, we're going to go to Emily's stream now, since I can't really change before. So we'll leave it up just as a cutesy thing and see. I'll have to look at that and be like, remember when I was first starting out, you guys? And like I had my days, so that way I can encourage future streamers. Don't be depressed when things don't go right. You know what I mean? So let me go ahead and share the screen since we have to start over, and we'll do Emily's thing. Let's see. So we were looking at Emily's feedback on the motion. So here we go. All right. So let's hear Emily talking about the motion. Oops. Here we go. Hopefully the sound, I do have the sound at 100 still. So hopefully, you know, you guys will be able to see it. Hopefully she's clear. So let me know if she's clear as well. And we'll listen to what she has to say about the motion. Let me make sure I'm on 100. Yeah, I'm on 100 on my machine. So, all right. Okay.
Appreciate that somebody's out here getting these suits because they are no longer updating on the court's website, which is deeply frustrating. Why? I have so many questions about why. This is properly redacted, so we're going to see some redactions in it, but let's crack on and then we'll continue with the legal commentary. Yay. July 8th, 12:05.
That was Friday.
Supplemental memoranda in support of Section 6 of defendant and counterclaim plaintiff Amber Heard's post-trial motions based on additional discoverable facts. So we found out more shit. We'd like to tell you more shit now.
Of course you are.
Here is the more shit. Defendant and counterclaim plaintiff, we're just going to go with AH, because fuck. AH hereby supplements Section 7, damn it, 7 of her post-trial motion based on newly discovered facts and information that juror number 15 was not the individual summoned for jury duty on April 11th, 2022. Cheryl, thank you so much for that super sticker. That's very sweet. I appreciate it. And therefore was not part of the jury panel and could not have properly served on the jury at this trial. Therefore, a mistrial should be declared and a new trial ordered.
Great.
FFS if a new trial happens. Y'all, Hope, we were talking about you earlier. Good to see you. Let's figure out what they figured out. Virginia law provides only those, quote, jurors whose names appear in the list provided under 8.01-348 and 8.01-351 shall be used for trial cases. Whose names appear on the list? Names. Shall be used for the trial of cases, civil and criminal, to be tried during the term. Virginia Code 8.01-355. Fairfax County explains that these potential jurors are selected from the list of registered voters in Fairfax County. Great, they pull it from the voter poll. Every year, citizens' names are randomly selected by the Virginia Supreme Court and from the list of registered voters for the Fairfax area. Great. Also see
Thank
the
you.
answer book for jury service. Potential jurors are selected randomly by the jury commissioner using lists designated by the courts, such as the voter registration list and the driver's license list.
Oh God. This is
In this
painful.
case, the jury panel list included an individual named Name,
Painful.
with a listed date of birth of redacted 1945, residing in location Virginia.
Oh my
I think
goodness.
that's probably a zip code. This means the individual would have been 77 years old at the time of trial based on the birth date. The attached voter registration information lists 2 individuals with the last name that. So 2 individuals with the same last name, 2. On the voter polls, 2 individuals with this last name residing in this area in Virginia, date of birth 1945-77, the same person listed on the jury panel list, and this person, date of birth 1970, 52 years old. Attachment.
So a lot of what I learned about this before she continues is what I thought originally. Like, I remember earlier when we talked about, like, even days as I stream, because I normally stream Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday, and I don't stream Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. And we talked about that Amber's team was part of picking the jury. Like, if there was any problem, as she goes into later, vetting the people that were on the jury, or if there was an issue, that should have been addressed immediately. I mean, if they wanted to be heavily involved in the jury, you know what I mean? Like, and I don't think something like that would just literally fall through the cracks, in my opinion. And LawTube has had a lot to say about this. Now, if you guys want to watch, I'll leave her stream link below if you want to see. Emily's great as well. I think some people, even myself, I forget to timestamp things, also kind of putting in topics so that way when people go back to watch the replay with the replay crew, you can kind of pick and choose what you want to see. But Emily's really great about that. So after she does this motion, she ends up getting some super chats from other YouTubers in her chat, and she ends up bringing on later Runkle, Hogue, and Rob, Law and Lumber. And they all talk about this motion. And they talk about the depths of this motion as well, about how this couldn't have just happened. Do you know what I mean? Like, they get a full report on these people before, you know what I mean? I mean, the shenanigans and the fuckery that goes on with these guys. It's like, oh, and it's been shared so many times now. And I know that I feel so bad about the stream before this because I feel like I shared such pertinent information on Twitter when I share with you guys different posts and stuff. I mean, I spent a whole 45 minutes on that. So I just wish I would have noticed in the chat that I think I did see someone say that I looked virtual, but I didn't understand what that meant. I thought maybe that meant you couldn't hear me or something. I don't know. My brain is not all there lately anyway, and I'm ADHD anyway. Clinically, I'm ADHD. But they go, these 3 YouTubers, four YouTubers in total, talk about these motions and them noticing this, because Elaine is basically she's grasping at straws at this point, with this appeal. And they constantly want to talk about the UK trial, over and over and over again. So it's like, it's redundant. You know what I mean? It just gets all the shenanigans and all the bullshit that's been going on with this thing. It just never ends. And that's why it's a circus of fuckery, because it keeps continuing to go on and go on and go on. So we will listen to what Emily has to say in reference to this particular motion, because it's important to know what it says. But the bottom line is they're just trying to question the jury at this point, and they're just trying to bring up anything and everything they can to try to get a mistrial, which, as I showed you guys before, and what I may do is just go back. I may just pedal back and just kind of, for the last hour, and just kind of briefly go over what we've been through so far. For those that didn't catch the entire stream, I can go backwards at this point, because this was going to be my closer anyways. So now we'll backpedal after we listen to what Emily says. We'll go back and we'll look at the album, Jeff Beck, I don't know how much you guys could see. If I was that zoomed in, you guys could probably hear, which would have been great for a podcast, right? But if you couldn't see what I was doing, then I'll share with you guys what I was doing, and I'll just briefly kind of throw the articles up there because I have everything bookmarked, so it's not hard for me to go back. But basically, all she's doing is going over this ridiculous, motion that Elaine has filed and questioning this juror. And this is kind of the last of the last, I think. But, with Elaine and Amber, they get very crafty. They're constantly trying to find loopholes. And I think I mean, it's been even discussed about, that's what was interesting about the end of the stream is that they talk about the patience that Judge A she's losing patience. Do you know what I mean? Like before. So they were saying in the end, if you want to go back and watch Emily's stream, like the last couple hours that she's discussing this with Runkle and Rob and Richard Hogue, they talk about how Judge A is really going to lose patience she's probably going to call a private hearing to rip into Elaine because Elaine is just really wasting the court's time at this point. So, I mean, I haven't heard LawTube say anything about how they have any kind of a valid argument to make this a mistrial and to do this all over again. I could not imagine them wasting the taxpayers' time at this point. I couldn't imagine doing that. I mean, like they say in the, at the end of the stream, they talk about like how they had all the information that they possibly could have to question any juror that came in on that panel. So for them to, and for the juror to be dishonest, I don't know. I'm not buying it. I mean, I don't know how you guys feel, but I'm not buying any of like this whole thing of, hey, let's question this juror because two jurors have the same name. They just so happen to be, born at on different years. And all of a sudden, as fine tooth comb as Amber Heard's team was being, that they didn't notice it. Well, that's just hard for me to believe. So we'll just continue to listen to Emily. And since I was virtually in your face, giving the new name for interwebs and in your face, I will go back. I'll backpedal and just close out the stream in the next 45 minutes to an hour. After she's done, we'll go ahead and just revisit what we briefly talked about in the first part of the stream. And that way we can close properly and you can at least see what I was sharing with you guys. I will leave all the links to the articles as well in the description box when this gets uploaded. So my deepest apologies, you guys. Just live and learn. I guess I'm so sorry that I didn't notice your chat of saying, hey, hello, are we in the Matrix? Are we in the Twilight Zone? Because that's how you're appearing to us. So my apologies, you guys. Oh my goodness. I feel embarrassed. But anyway, let's proceed. We'll keep it like that.
For both of these individuals, name and name, apparently live at the same address. Oh. Okay. So they live at the same address and they have the same last name. Is it reasonable that they are a junior and a senior and perhaps have the same full name? Yes. Because it seems like it would be harder to find, it seems like it would be easier to figure out if they don't have the same first name. But this doesn't give us the information about whether their first name is the same or not. But it does say there are only two individuals with the last name. So the motion says only two individuals with the last name of blank, instead of saying two individuals with the name of and then giving a full name. So maybe it is the case that they have different first names and the same last name, but it could also be the case that they have the same name and one's a junior and one's a senior. Could very well have the same name. It happens. The fact that there's only two individuals with the same last name in this voter area is very helpful for Team Heard doing this investigation. So both of these individuals live at the same address. Great.
Oh, God. It's a father and son, maybe. Yikes. I don't know, you guys.
The individual who appeared for jury duty with this name was obviously the younger one. If it is so obvious when you were looking at your juror list with the 15 fucking attorneys that were on each side and you were looking at the person in the jury box, even
Makes
with
sense.
the mask, could you have been like, huh? Doesn't seem like you were born in 1945.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Seems like you were born in 1970s.
Yes.
Could that question have come up then? Because you had the information then. There's nothing in here that shows that Amber Heard's team did not have the information available at the time they questioned and accepted this juror onto the panel. But I digress.
Yeah. I mean,
both of these individuals live at the same address. The individual.
I mean, this is what I was talking about. You know, I think a lot of people have been talking about that Amber Heard's team was so meticulous, right? Like they were involved in the whole thing. So why all of a sudden, they're not going to say that all of a sudden they were so distracted or, you know, whatever the case was, that all of a sudden they didn't catch this. When that jury sat there 6 weeks, they were looking at these people. So it's like, even if there was a mask involved, I mean, you know, when you're talking about 1970, I was born in 71 and I'm 50. I'll be 51 at the end of this month. So that's a drastic difference between 1945 and 1970. You know, my mom was born in 47. You can tell my mom looks young, but you can tell a drastic difference in our age. I mean, not, you know, my mom looks very young, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so for them to automatically just try to come up and say, and do this shenanigans right here, this fuckery of shenanigans right here. I just feel like, to me, it's just it's more time wasted. You know, it's wasting the judge's time. It's wasting a bunch of time. I don't remember, like I said, I did see this stream in its entirety this morning on the 9th, Saturday, because I'm on Pacific time, so it's only 7:24 on my time, but PM. But when I saw the end of this, when she's discussing everything with Runkle and Rob and Richard Hogue, I didn't really hear any of them saying, even Rob, and I think Rob has kind of become the spotlighted thing because he's in Virginia, he practices Virginia, he's seen Judge A before. So I think that it would have been brought up in topic, right? You know, if it was any kind of an eyebrow raised concern, in my opinion, that's what I would think that we would hear LawTube say. And, you know, based on the brief reaction of you know, why is her name escaping me? Emily's reaction right now, right? You know, it doesn't seem like it's that concerning. And this is just the beginning of the stream. Remember, like, she's just going over the documents. Further on in the stream, because this is a 5-hour stream, when they're all talking together, they don't really show a lot of concern as well for this to actually cause a mistrial. And based on, let me show you one more thing. Since you couldn't really see it before. Let me just share one more thing before we finish, before we let her finish. But let me just, the thing is when I share it this way, hold on one second. Let me just, yeah, you need to share the window, but let me make sure I have. So one thing I want to say, also, let me share the whole window. Let me come back over here and minimize her just for a second. And let me put this on me just for a second. And let me just pull this one, because I'm hearing people tell me that I don't really need to backpedal, but I probably will, just because in case somebody else comes along right now, and they want to hear what I've said before, then I hate to repeat myself, but if you only saw my fisheye, you know what I mean? But I will go ahead and share with you guys this one, because if you didn't see it the first time, I will go ahead and share this one important tweet that I think, also, hey, there's something new that I just saw from Christopher Melcher too. So let me share this real quick. We'll go back to Emily. Just hold that thought for a second, but we'll go back to Emily in just a second. But this is Christopher Melcher just put this up as well this morning. Amber Heard sued in federal court for making an insurance claim for Johnny Depp's defamation judgment and for refusing to cooperate with the insurance company in defending the suit. Read it here. So this is the complaint. I think we were talking about that, right? We talked about that earlier, about her insurance company filing a complaint. So she's Amber Heard sued in federal court for making insurance claim for Johnny Depp's defamation judgment. So she's being sued now. But let's go back here and let's just, based on, before Emily finishes, because I don't want to, to kind of make too much light on that, but this is what we were talking about originally. So when I opened the show, you guys, the 6 of you, in case you're back and you couldn't really see it, this is what we were talking about. So Femme Condition, if you want to follow her on Twitter, posted this. Ms. Heard recognizes that Virginia Code 8.01.353 states that any error in the information shown on the jury panel shall not be grounds for a mistrial or assignable as error on appeal. So this was really important. And then I read this entire thing earlier in the stream when I opened, and it said, it just says the sheriff shall not notify the jurors on this list. The sheriff shall notify the jurors on this list or such number of them as the judge may direct to appear in court on such day as the court may direct. But the highlighted portion of this, because I already kind of went over this and I don't want to be redundant with this stuff, but it says such copy of the jury panel shall show the name, age, address, occupation, and employer of each person on the panel. Any error, this is where it becomes important, any error in the information shown on such copy of the jury panel shall not be grounds for a mistrial or assignable as error on appeal, and the parties in the case shall be responsible. The parties, meaning that would be Johnny Depp's team or Amber's team, would be responsible for saying something in terms of accuracy, not after the fact. Before the trial starts, it is their job to investigate, or if they, if they have questions when they're interviewing these jurors, it's their job. It's their job to do that. They're responsible. That's why someone put this up here. So it says error on the jury panel is not grounds for a mistrial or appeal. Amber Heard's team recognizes this, which means she's spending money on motions she knows are worthless. Why? PR spin. I'm sure CHLA would love to have the money you're knowingly wasting, Amber Heard, and it's better PR. So there's that. That's why this was so important to open the show with. And that's why I was trying. That's why, you guys, I always do Twitter highlights. Some people may not like that. They may, jump into my stream and go, well, she's not getting to the point of what was on her thumbnail. But the point is how I find my topics or how I find out what I want to make light of is usually through Twitter, because I follow so many people that make Johnny Depp's case or anything related to this case their priority in terms of, constantly posting. And so that's why I like to open my show with whatever it is that I see that might be pertinent to what we're talking about. So one of the reasons why I wanted to show that is because, Emily D is going over these motions, and it's very important for us to understand how motions work through LawTube. But not only that, but also, looking at some posts that have been shared on Twitter as far as how much of a chance, how legit is this? Like, is this really going to make any waves? Is it going to have any effect? Or should we be nervous? Is there going to be a mistrial? And so that's why, I like to share this stuff with you guys when it comes to Twitter highlights, because it's important, to kind of, those of you that are like, oh man, I'm so nervous that, oh no, what if something gets overturned or this or that? So that's why it's important to hear. Now, no one really knows what's going to happen. That's up to the judge at this point, right? But Judge A, if you saw her in the trial, then she has very little patience for Elaine. We've seen her kind of give that eye, that sort of diagonal eye going, sustained, just kind of looking at her, looking at them going, are you sure you want to do, are you sure you want to keep talking? You know what I'm saying? She's shown great patience, and I think that judge has done a very, very good job I think she's done an excellent job. I think everybody in the entire case, did a great job. So anyway, that was one of the reasons why I decided to, kind of point that out before we went. I just didn't know that you guys couldn't see me. There was lint on my microphone. So anyway, so let's continue to hear, what Emily's saying about this motion. So, but again, again, we do need to keep in mind, bear in mind though, they did have the same name. They lived in the same place. They had the same name. Obviously it was a father and a son or something like that. They had the same name and they were born, just different birth dates, which is kind of strange, right? Like, how could they have the same exact birthday? I don't know. But they do that with my son though, because my son isn't an identical junior. He just has the first name and the last name of his dad. And even when he checks his credit, he oftentimes will find his dad on his credit report, even though his dad has a different middle initial. So and he's actually been affected too by some things in the past, so it's very interesting kind of the way that works, even if the father and the son or two family members that have the identical name but different birthdays. Even, my son wasn't even born in the same month or day that his dad was, let alone the year, and his middle initial is different. It's just they have the same first name and the same last name. So that's very interesting to me how that works. But anyway, so let's go ahead and continue to hear the rest of this, and I will try to wrap it up as much as I can.
Who appeared for jury duty with the same name was obviously the younger one. It might not be obvious. Can't you just say we think is the younger one based on being in this courtroom for 6 weeks?
Exactly. Come on. It's common sense, man.
The 52-year-old, I don't know what that word is, but I'm looking at the name.
See, I'm not the only one that can't read. I don't feel bad.
Was never summoned for jury duty on April 11th and did not, quote, appear in the list as required under the Virginia Code 8.01-355. As the court no doubt agrees. Oh, man. Don't assume. Don't assume the court. Don't assume the court.
I'm glad that she does that. I'm glad that she does that.
Just don't. As the court no doubt agrees, it is a deeply troubling for an individual not summoned for jury duty, nonetheless to appear for jury duty and serve on a jury, except that a summons with at least part of their name showed up at their address. It's not like they just wandered in.
But I love, let's go back just one more time. That's one of the beauties. That's one of the beauties. And I wish that Emily, I guess I could tag one of them, because that one account that I was telling you that made this post here is pretty popular. So I'm really surprised that she didn't tag anybody when she made this post right here. But that's why this post is so important. And I wish that someone would have DM'd Emily on this one, just so that, I'm sure she probably, or even Rob probably knows or whatever. But that's why it was so important to say that, because it clearly states, as she's reading that, it clearly states right here, it clearly says in this last sentence, any error in the information shown on such copy of the jury panel shall not be grounds for a mistrial or assignable as error on appeal. And the parties in the case shall be responsible for verifying the accuracy of the information. So, like she's saying, you're going to let this juror that you all of a sudden I'm discovering they have the same name, they have the same address, and now you're just discovering that all of a sudden this juror was, placed, incorrectly or whatever. Well, I'm sorry, Elaine, but get your shit together and turn your mic on. You know what I mean? Turn your mic on, Elaine, because you should have said something in the beginning when you interviewed all of these jurors. Since you're being so meticulous and nitpicking and, sifting through and pulling the weeds at this point, you should have noticed that there was something wrong, or you should have brought it to the court's attention to do some investigation or something like that. You can't have burned 6 weeks of the taxpayers' time, or the cost of this thing televised and all. When you add the days up, however many days we were all streaming and sitting through this trial, and all of a sudden now, after she lost, you're going to say, oh, oops, wait, hey, wait, there's a loophole. No. We'll listen to what Emily says, but I'm thinking, no. Negatory.
But I digress. Especially in a case such as this. This was a high-profile case where the fact and date of the jury trial were highly publicized prior to and after the issuance of the jury summons. Y'all. Elena's half a sentence away from saying some rando walked in and became a juror. It's the randos! Rando juror 15.
Oh my God.
I've hit my mic. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to strike all of you.
Oh my goodness. This woman right here is just too much. She's too much.
They very well might be junior and seniors with the same full name. It just doesn't say, and we don't have enough information.
Either way, though, even if they are, though, here, wait. Even if they are, though, like, right? We just read specifically that even if they are, she should have looked into that and said something immediately. She should have looked into that. I mean, I'm not saying that accidents don't happen, but you don't sit there in a room full for 6 weeks and then all of a sudden find some kind of error after you lost, no less, and then say, oh, hey, wait, you know? And also, to be honest as well, I mean, I find it very hard. I mean, it could have been an innocent mistake, you know, like, I don't think that just because it was a high profile case that, you know, the dad and the son maybe tried to mislead the court, or the son tried to mislead the court. Because, I mean, even the son, even if it's a dad and the son, you know, and the son is my age, what if the dad's ill, or the dad, you know, is deceased? Or, I mean, I'm just saying, you know, because it happens all the time, right? You could have the same name as a parent and still, like, get mail for, you know what I'm saying? Like, get mail. You know, it's kind of an interesting statement I make, because my father and my brother have the same name. Not exactly, not identical, but my brother's name was Robert also. They called him Tony. And my dad's name was Robert, but they called him Bob. And they both have the same last name, and they're both deceased. So again, I mean, you know, it could have been an innocent mistake, but I honestly believe that the first question, the natural question that the father and the son probably would have asked, especially when it comes to jury duty, is which one of us are they asking for? You know what I mean? Because if they sent this to the same location, right? If they sent it to the same house, how is it that the two in the home didn't say, well, I wonder which one they're talking about? But it's very rare that you would have the father and the son in the same home, unless the father's elderly and the son is taking care of them. You know what I mean? So there's a lot that goes into that. So I'm just saying, but that's kind of how I feel about it. I don't know. How do you guys feel about it? I don't know. I'm just kind of questioning things, as my brain is so analytical anyway.
For 15 minutes of fame being on this jury. Yep. Let's see if it's in here. I haven't gone through the rest of this yet, because I was talking to my kiddo before this and redoing my router. Which, if you watch my Instagram stories, you'll know what I'm talking about. They should have figured this out before trial. I doubt this will fly. Well, Jennifer, I disagree, and we need more whiskey for this. We might need more whiskey for this. I disagree that we should have figured it out before trial, but they should have figured it out during voir dire. Like, before trial, you just have a list of names and you don't have, like, a person in front of you. It's kind of like, I don't know, swiping left or right. Like, it all looks good on the list, but then when you're sitting there in front of them, you're like,
yeah,
I'm being catfished.
That makes sense.
That should have come up during voir dire.
Which is the interview, right?
So, let's see. I have thoughts about this, but I'm going to try to get through all of this. We're only on page 205.
Oh, God.
And they've already assumed that the court no doubt agrees that this is deeply troubling. Let's see.
It's about 20 minutes, I guess.
The fact and date of the jury trial were highly publicized prior to and after the issuance of jury summonses. Virginia has in place a statutory code provisions designed to ensure the person called for jury duty is the person arriving for jury duty. See code 8.01-353.1.
He would have been. Okay, wait. All right. So if the sun, let's figure this out. It doesn't say the month or the day, right? It just says a year. So my mom was born in 70. My mom was born in 47, and she just turned 75, June 3rd. So if this guy was born in 1945, he'd be 77, right? And that's a drastic age from 51. 1970, she said? 1970, right? Yeah, because I was born in 71. So he'd be older than me. You would definitely be able to see a difference, don't you think? I think. You'd definitely be able to see a difference. So like she said, even if you get the list and you see that there's two names or whatever, or even if you like she was saying, I beg to differ about the list. She's saying even in the course of interviewing them, someone should have noticed. They couldn't have been that wrapped up. That's a drastic difference in age. You're talking like 20 some odd years. I don't know. Turn your microphone on, Elaine. Nah, this woman upsets me. Not Emily, Elaine.
Questionnaire webpage furthers this goal by requiring all county residents to log in using their 7-digit juror number, zip code, and birth date. Why is birth date in quotations? I can understand bolding it, but why is it in quotations? Why is it in quotations? Do you really need your birth date, or is it like an assumed birth date? Why is birth date in quotations? If you need to put emphasis on it, bold and italics will do. I can't. Attachment 5, emphasis. No shit. Those safeguards are in place and relied upon by the parties to verify the identity of the correct juror, to ensure due process and fair trial for all litigants. When these safeguards are circumvented or not followed, as appears to be the case here, the right to a jury trial and due process are undermined and compromised. Ms. Heard had a right to rely on the basic protection of her attorneys asking good questions during voir dire. I'm sorry, that's not what it says. Ms. Heard had the right to rely on the basic protection as prescribed by the code that the jurors in this trial would be the individuals who were actually summoned for jury duty. Pound the table. In this case, it appears that juror 15 was not, in fact, the same individual as listed on the jury panel. Ms. Heard's due process was therefore compromised. Under these circumstances, a mistrial should be declared in a new trial order.
Oh, God.
Mr. Depp would be incorrect in contending Ms. Heard somehow waived this argument by not raising it during voir dire. Really? Why? Why? Not only were the voir dire questions ruled on in advance and the parties limited to those questions during voir dire, but the responsibility to ensure that the potential jurors participating in voir dire are the ones listed on the panel list rests with the individuals and the court. That's not what the footnote in the other fucking motion says, but we'll get back there.
I'm sure we will.
Due process entitles litigants such as Ms. Heard to rely on the basic assurance that potential jurors are who they say they are and are the actual individuals the court summoned. I think she's...
Remember, you guys, this filing, in case you forget, this filing is from yesterday, July 8, 2022. So it's still July 9th where I live, but just remember, this is a brand new filing from July 8th, 2022. So keep that in mind when she's going over this, because this is new.
She's trying to preempt Depp's argument, but I would also contend that this argument is waived by not raising it, and it doesn't fucking matter that the voir dire questions to ask the jurors were ruled on in advance, because you can approach sidebar. We've seen it every time Elaine said, and we approached, Judge A was like, yeah.
We know how much she loved that.
Your Honor, can we approach? It says here on my little listy list, the listy poo. Mind you, none of this was televised. It says here on my listy poo that potential juror number 15 was born in 1945. I do not want to be insulting to this court or potential juror number 15, but damn, potential juror 15 looked good for being born in 1945.
Yeah.
Like Adam Waldman's skin when he first popped on the Zoom call, I was like, hey, this man's skin is kind of flawless on the Zoom call. Do we have questions? And y'all were like, his wife's a dermatologist. His products. I was like, oh. But, Your Honor, I don't want to be...
Adam is... hey, does anybody know is Adam Waldman isn't like... How old is that? Let's see. How old is Adam Waldman? Do we know? Let's see. Let me see. Sorry. Let me see real quick. How old is Adam Waldman? I know... age. Let me see. Does it say? Oh, Adam Waldman's a Leo. Adam Waldman's a Leo. I didn't know that. Here, I'll show you what I'm looking at. See? I was wondering how old is Adam Waldman. That's what I was looking at real quick before we finish. He was born August 4th. He's a Leo like me. How old is he though? He's 5'6", if anybody cares. He was born, oh, it doesn't say. He's somewhere between 49 and 52. That doesn't help us. We want to know like that doesn't help us. We want to know, like, how old is he really? That's kind of weird how you can't. Adam Waldman. Nobody knows. 53. So in case you guys were wondering, Adam Waldman is 53. So, let's see. 1968, August 4th, 1968. So him and Johnny Depp are very, they're the same age. Well, Johnny Depp just turned 59, but he's going to turn 59 in August anyways. So don't you always, isn't it funny how when you go on these random websites, like how you get these weird ads? Anyway, that was kind of important because I was wondering if she was kind of referring to that maybe Adam Waldman could be in his 60s or something. So that's the only reason why I checked that. So let's continue.
But hi,
Brenna, I'm back. I look normal now.
The court require that this person is that person, or at least what skincare routine they use. Could they be wearing Amica cream? Are they wearing makeup? Does Isaac
Let's start with the makeup.
You don't know. Can someone ask?
Let's start with the makeup.
That's it. That's it. Just ask.
Thank you, Brenna. Yeah, I wish I would have known with the other one.
If you think somebody's age looks off, and you're looking
exactly,
at this, and you're looking at the person going,
yeah, exactly.
Ask the court, and the court can ask.
I mean, it's not. I don't think it's. I mean, I don't think it's offensive. Do you? Do you think it would be offensive? Like, you know, if you got a list. And the list said whatever it said, but then in the interview or the whatever that word is that she used, you know, that whole word for interviewing the jurors, I don't think it's offensive to like say, look, this man says his birthday says this, but he doesn't look. I'm kind of, you know, can someone check this out for me? I mean, I don't think it would be weird or odd or, you know, offensive, like I said, or, you know, saying that this person is dishonestly being there or whatever. I mean, I realize though it's a high profile case, but still, I wouldn't think that someone would want to just be involved. I don't know. Maybe you guys can answer that. I mean, you know, I'm a little naive when it comes to that. I keep thinking everybody's honest when some people aren't, but either way, as we've read several times, it is the party's responsibility to investigate or say something to the court, Elaine. I mean, how many times do we have to address Elaine to say, get your shit together, Elaine. You know what I mean? Like, we've said it so many times. It's like, it's not hard. Just get it together. So I don't know. I mean, I if it was me and I was an attorney, I would ask, like, if it raised a question, I would ask, oh my goodness, my makeup is bothering me tonight. Okay. Maybe he was wearing Amica cream. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe so. Maybe so.
Conclusion. For all the reasons set forth above and the initial memorandum, Ms. Heard respectfully requests this court declare a mistrial due to improper juror service in violation of her due process rights and order a new trial and such other relief as may be appropriate.
Okay. So, once again, we are going to show it. It says, for the 90th time, right here, such copy of the jury panel shall show the name, age, address, occupation, and employer of each person on the panel. Any error in the information shown on such copy of the jury panel shall not be grounds for mistrial or assignable as error on appeal, and the parties in the case shall be responsible for verifying the accuracy of such information. Once again, page 1. This is Twitter highlights. Ms. Heard recognizes that Virginia Code 8.1-353 states that any error in the information shown on the jury panel shall not be grounds for a mistrial or assignable error on appeal. Let me say that again. Number 9, Ms. Heard recognizes that Virginia Code 8.1-353 states that any error in the information shown on the jury panel shall not be grounds for mistrial or assignable as error on appeal. So, like I said, Femme Condition on Twitter, if you want to follow her, error on the jury panel is not grounds for a mistrial or appeal. Amber Heard's team recognizes this. They had to say, we recognize this is possible. It is our responsibility. Therefore, yet they still keep trying, which is what, Elaine is reading. Which is what Emily is reading now. So, it's kind of interesting to hear, the attorneys replying on this, which I wish, like I said, someone would have tagged Emily in this as well, though. But, because they're busy. I mean, they're making content and so on and so forth, and they're doing the best they can to keep up with things. But there's always stuff that they miss sometimes. So that's why it is so important for us to do Twitter highlights, because like I said in the beginning, although my stream was all fucked up in the beginning, I follow so many people that are just really, 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 I mean, bird's eyeing, eagle eyeing the processes in this case and in the aftermath and the effects and the ripples and all that stuff that Amber Heard's trying. So that's why Twitter highlights are imperative to start the show with, because before we lay into the topics, I want you guys to see what I've highlighted for Twitter highlights, so that as we go over the topics, we can relate those to what we talk about and what we cover when it comes to articles or anything that's gone on currently when it comes to Amber Heard. There's always fuckery going on with this woman. Always. There's always some circus act, some Twilight Amber Heard zone bullshit happening. So, same thing. Okay. Dara's saying Netflix Incorporated acquired the right to stream the new Johnny Depp film, according to a recent report by Bloomberg. Yeah, I read that, Dare, earlier in the stream. So I did cover, and I'll recap, because if you guys couldn't see me and you couldn't see what I was going over, then I feel bad. So I will, Emily's almost done. She only has about 10 minutes left. And then I'll recap what I covered in the beginning of the show, so you guys can know what I was talking about. So for the fishbowl in the first part of the stream, my apologies, you guys. I haven't been on in a week, and look what happens. So, I will definitely just recap the articles we covered before we close out the show, so you guys can see what I was covering. And I'll briefly just kind of run through Twitter and share with you guys what I shared in the beginning of the stream when I started, before I came back and had to do it a second time. So let's go ahead and let Emily finish. So so we can just kind of get through this.
The attachments are not attached, which is appropriate because they're going to involve more information. Yes. What, if any, foundation against smooth or oily wearing? What, if any, eye cream do you use? What, if any, Amica cream are you wearing? But this was apparent enough that it came up after the verdict. I want to know if this was held.
Yeah.
It seems improper to do so.
Well,
Seems like it might waive the argument.
they don't play fair, so
But you
doesn't shock me.
lawyers were in a position to discover this at the time of voir dire. And I believe the court will find the due process will go up on appeal too. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I believe the court will find, this is going to drag out for fucking ever, but I believe the court will find that your due process rights are not violated because you participated in the process
Yeah.
of voir dire by
So,
asking
yeah.
questions. And
Yeah.
as your other footnote says, the
Yeah.
code says,
Yeah.
Ms. Heard recognizes that the code states any error in the information
Yes.
shown on the jury panel shall
There we
not
go.
be grounds
There it
for
is.
mistrial or assignable as an error on appeal, and the parties in the case shall be responsible for verifying.
Okay,
the
so it was
accuracy of
there.
such
Good.
information.
It was there. So
The
good.
parties in the case shall be
Not rocket science,
responsible
peeps.
for verifying the accuracy of the information. So under the code, it is the lawyer's duty to verify the accuracy of the information on the sheet. And if you're verifying the accuracy of the information on the sheet, then you have to look at the
Yeah.
information on the sheet, look at the juror and be like, are you the same?
Yeah.
But she's saying, no, the clerk's office fucked up. The clerk's office
Whatever.
patched that this person was not the same person, and therefore
And let me also point out something that I don't think anybody remembers is that if you guys remember Michelle, the girl that was bringing up all the PowerPoints and conducting the depositions, that's her daughter. So if she had any question and her daughter works for her, don't you think she should have said something to her daughter to look into that? Since her daughter does all this, computer, all that sort of administrative stuff for her anyway, if there was question, don't you think she would have gave somebody in her office or in her law firm a task, like if something's fishy with this or whatever? And another thing, once again, that I don't think Emily even had access to, or maybe it's not on that form she's reading. But again, we're going to keep, saying this, but we'll minimize Elaine real quick. But again, back to the Twitter tweet, it says right here in plain 100% English, Amber Heard's team recognizes that Virginia Code 8.01-353 states that any error in the information shown, the jury panel shall not be grounds for a mistrial or assignable as error on appeal. So I know that she read the other excerpt we just talked about, but again, they literally, I don't know if that comes in beforehand or afterhand or what page that's from, in terms of documents and such. But either way, like it says they recognize it. They recognized it. So they acknowledged that it was there. They acknowledged, whatever it is, I think they had enough people on that tiny little team that Amber Heard had to check it out. Like she's saying, maybe it wasn't on the list. Maybe there wasn't question it on the list. But either way, when you see them and you look at their information and it says 1945, and, if I said I was born in 1945 and you're like, really, you're 75 years old? Because you sure as hell don't look 70, maybe 45 ish, you know what I mean? But otherwise, it's not rocket science, man. And that's, and I don't know, like I said, there's been question of masks and such, right? So maybe that came up. Maybe that's a factor, but either way, by gray hair or your hands, there's so many things that are visible on a person that, sort of show age. It's not being, what is that called? Like, I'm not saying that to be mean or whatever, or to ageism or whatever the hell it's called. So I'm not saying anything to make a negative, but I'm saying there are certain things that would make you question immediately, like she's talking about in that veneer or whatever the hell it's called, whatever that word is when they interviewed the jurors. It was Amber Heard's team's responsibility to question, you know, and to just look into it. And like I said, Michelle is her daughter. She was the one, you know, when they were calling out in the trial, hey, Michelle, can you pull up this? Michelle, can you pull up that? Michelle can. And so on the back end of things behind the curtain, you know, Michelle was making appointments and calling people and doing this and doing that if it's her daughter. So that's kind of something I haven't heard anybody bring up, just saying. But I think that's part of, you know, what Emily is talking about as well.
We are
So
entitled to a mistrial. This is a violation of due process.
so there's that.
There is a process here. She's saying, Elaine is saying that the process was not followed because clearly this person was not vetted. Now, if it comes forward that this person lied to get onto jury service, if they pull up what this person clicked in on their juror form and they said, yes, that is the right date of birth, it still might not matter. And we saw that in the case with Ghislaine Maxwell, where it didn't matter.
Wow.
In the Maxwell case, the juror lied
Wow.
under oath, or misstated. The court said misstated, lied under oath that they had not been a victim of the types of shit that were alleged in that case.
Yeah.
The court found it was an error. It was not a willful lie, and that if they had been voir dire on that part more when they didn't fill out the answer properly on the juror intake form, that they would not have been dismissed for cause, and therefore it does not rise to the level of the mistrial. If this, which seems like a mistake, can rise to the level of a mistrial, what the fuck happened in the Maxwell case? Because on that one I was like, ooh, that juror did not disclose that they had been a victim of the same shit that she was on criminal trial for, where the rights of the defendant are, you know, high. That was not a mistrial. There's no way this is a mistrial.
Yeah.
I would be shocked.
Well, like I was saying, you know, like I was saying, and even what she's saying, like if they had a list and then they realized that this person, you know, physically in interview didn't match whatever that word is, that legal word they use for interviewing the jury or whatever. I mean, even what she's saying, like if they, you know, because I know a lot of things are electronic these days. So even if someone had to fill out some kind of form that prompted you from page to page and they printed that out or they went back, because nowadays they have like, it's funny, you know, they have a lot of electronic, they have a lot of technical things that can be done. So even, I mean, I know sometimes the courts can't afford those types of electronics, you know, electronic recording. Like, in other words, there are some tests or some, you know, forms that can be filled out where they have like this security thing where it's actually literally recording your mouse and what you're doing. It's like a screen recording or whatever. So even if a person had to fill out the whatever it is that they had to do to be a juror member or whatever they clicked on what she's saying, that I'm sure that would be like made as to, you know, printable or whatever. So even if they're going back in the prompts that like she's talking about and someone noticed, you know, or whatever, and went back, like she's saying, I do believe at the same time that possibly, what does it matter? I mean, we've read that, you know, that tweet so many times, and it was even stated in the motion that she just read. So I know they're desperately trying to grab at straws right now. They're grasping at nothing, but I don't think that it's going to matter. And I think what they're doing is like I said, later in this live stream, she brings on Runkle, she brings on Rob, and she brings on, Richard Hogue, and they talk about that that Elaine is really pushing Judge A's buttons, you know, voir dire. Yeah, that whatever that's called. But like, I mean, she's pushing the judge's buttons, you know, to where she's probably going to call, like they were saying later in the stream when she visits with all the law tube, about how she's pushing the judge's buttons so much that that the Judge Oscarati or whatever her name is going to literally probably end up, you know, like making a hearing where Elaine is going to have to mandatory be present at that, and she's going to chew her a new asshole, you know, for wasting her time, you know, and just literally grasping at straws. So I don't think there's a lot of people that are worried about this in any form. I mean, I'm sure LawTube would bring it up if they knew that there was a valid reason, other than a lot of people just saying they're wasting the court's time and they're wasting the judge's time. And that's disrespect, in my opinion. You know, why keep bringing her on top of the fact, just burning? Like, I don't understand this. Like, if Amber Heard's insurance company is now suing her for the cost as well, this whole legality thing that's going on, because now her insurance company is suing her, literally, which I think we went over earlier. But Amber Heard's insurance is suing her. Oh, that's the book deal. But I mean, if you guys saw earlier, I'll show you in just a second because we're going to recap anyway. But Amber Heard's insurance company is suing her now. So it's like, you know, for her to continue this, like I don't know if you guys heard all the audios that go with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, but he says if you continue, like, I don't know if you guys remember this, but it's clear in the audios. I can't remember what time stamp it is on whatever audio I have on my channel, but he goes, this is when they were outside of, remember when they were outside and she was trying to keep him from going in and being with his daughter? And he goes, if you continue this rhetoric, like, cause she would just sit there and go in loops. Like, if you guys have listened to the audios, Amber Heard was famous for sitting there and keeping him there, just going in a loop, getting nowhere. And you know, I mean, even they've had fights on those audios where he said, we just need a break. Let me fucking walk out and smoke for a second, or let me leave for a couple hours and we can come back and, you know, do this again or whatever the hell, you know, I'll come back in 2 hours and we'll go in our corners and we can continue this, or we don't have to continue this, or whatever. And that's kind of what we see happening, if you guys agree, in the court. I mean, she's doing the same thing that she does to every single person in her life in reference to this. And what she's probably doing is just stressing Elaine out, because we hear more talk of Elaine than we do of Rottenborn. You know, we hear much more talk of Elaine Bredehoff more than we do Ben Rottenborn. So I feel like Ben is smart. You know, he stayed smart. He's stayed out of the out of the limelight. But there's about 6 minutes left on this, so we'll finish this and then we'll recap everything that we did in the beginning of the show, since I was in a fishbowl and you couldn't see what I was doing. So I feel bad about that, but we will recap and then we'll close out. So let's go ahead and listen to the rest of what she has to say.
I think it'll still be a go forever. But you had due process when you had the list and the person, and you had the chance to ask those.
There it is.
Let's look at what the code says. Stick to the code.
Okay.
It says parsnip. Or like. Oh, Tito. If y'all are like, Emily, your face is getting pink. Yes, it happens when I drink alcohol.
My mom is like that too.
Code 8.01353 and 35.1. Thankfully, Virginia makes all of their shit real easy to find.
Well, that's easy.
To you, Virginia, for making your codes so easy.
Wow, look at that. Easy to read. Super cool.
Where did the one go?
It's 358.
There we go. There it is.
Oh, here it is.
Notice to jurors, making copy of jury panel available to
so
counsel.
Cool.
Objection to notice.
That's cool. They have that like that.
Patricia said, how did they even uncover?
I should have pulled that up.
This is why I wonder if they held it. Because were they just sitting there going back through the jury roll going, I remember juror 15 looking younger. Let's investigate.
Oh, this looks like,
the sheriff will notify the jurors on the list or such number of them as the judge may direct to appear in court.
Okay, so just before she finishes that, so this right here, what she's reading is that highlighted portion that I just showed you on Twitter. So that was kind of cool. I mean, you know, there are a lot of little Dexters, a lot of little Inspector Gadgets on Twitter and stuff when it comes to this case. But like, that's where this code right here, since it's so easy to go to, that's where they got this and highlighted that portion. So that's very cool that someone did kind of clip this and put it on Twitter, because it was very easy, and that makes it easier for the people that are following them to not have to go to this place. But like Emily said, you know, any of these codes that are mentioned on these legal documents, all you have to do apparently is look it up and it'll be there, you know, so that's kind of cool. But what she's going to read is probably this portion right here that we've been kind of going over that over and over and over again, just because it's that important. That's the reason why I kept reading it as she was reading it. So even now, that's what she's looking at right here. And so this is the portion of what that person on Twitter was talking about.
court on such day as the court may direct. Such notice shall be given as
I read all this before. I read all this already.
Verbal direction given by the judge or at his direction. Again, the judge doesn't have to be a he. At his direction to a juror who has been given notice as hereinbefore provided that he appear at a later specified date shall be sufficient notice. Any notice given as provided herein shall have the effect of an order of court.
Yeah.
No particular time in advance is required. Appearance dates shall be necessary for verbal notice hereunder, but the court may, in its discretion, excuse from service any juror who claims to lack sufficient notice upon request. Let's see.
But still, that bottom portion is all she has to read.
Responsible for notifying jurors to appear in court for trial of a case shall make available to all counsel of record in that case a copy of the jury panel to be used for the trial of the case at least 3 full business days before the trial.
Yeah.
Such copy of the jury panel shall show the name, age, address, occupation, and employer.
Okay, that's in
on the panel. Any error.
So this is what the highlight, right?
Such copy of the jury panel shall not be grounds for a mistrial or assignable as error on appeal. And the parties in the case shall be responsible for verifying the
there we go.
Such information.
There it is.
During voir dire. No judgment shall be arrested or reversed for the failure of the record to show that there was service upon a juror of notice to appear in court unless made a ground of exception in the trial before the jury is sworn. Before the jury is sworn. Unless made a ground of exception in the trial before the jury is sworn. This is why they're arguing they can't say it was waived. No judgment shall be arrested or reversed. No mistrial granted. For the failure of the record to show that there was service upon a juror of notice to appear in court, unless made a ground of exception. Now, I would have to look at the case law and see how the case law has interpreted this, if it's ever come up.
Yeah. So the difference between the person that tweeted that, I think also though the person that tweeted this should have also just highlighted that bottom part just so everyone that's reading this can kind of get a better grip other than just this portion that she highlighted in pink. I feel like the bottom is just as important as the top in terms of someone just coming across this tweet or if someone wanted to use it as a reference or whatever, because it is part of the Virginia website. So, I think that's really important also. Just, and again, all of this was just posted this morning on the 9th of July, like I said, originally. So I think it's great that Emily is also bringing light to that bottom portion because, what a person may think is important to this excerpt that she's reading. I feel like Emily's making the emphasis on the part B, which is something that by reading that, in terms of the highlighted portion, I feel like B is just as important. You know what I mean? So, I mean, if you're reading it and you don't really know what you're reading or you don't really know how to read it, I feel like that's just as important.
The court is going to have to look into this. The court is going to have to pull up what the juror filled out in their online form. This is all going to have to come up. But Elaine had this information and could have verified it. And it says she has to verify it. The other code section here says...
Oh, shit. Wait, the other code.
Jurors to provide identification. At the time of assembly for the purpose of jury selection. At the time of assembly. I should go back to my law voice. Hold on.
She's going to be hear ye.
At the time of assembly for the purpose of jury selection, the identity of each member of the jury veneer shall be verified as provided in this section. I've already read this one. We're doing it again anyway. Prior to being selected from the jury veneer, a potential juror shall verify his identity by presenting to the person taking jury attendance any of the following forms of identification. We went through that. If the juror is unable to present, they can sign under penalty of perjury that he is the named juror. Great. And then we get into other sections of the code. Jurors on the list to be used for trial of cases during term discharge or dispensing with attendance of jurors, drawing additional jurors. Jurors whose name appear on the list provided for under the other sections shall be used for the trial of cases, criminal and civil to be tried during the term. The judge shall direct and select as many jurors as necessary. The court shall have the power to discharge persons summoned as jurors herein or dispense with their attendance. Let's see. When by reason of challenge or otherwise a sufficient number of jurors summoned cannot be obtained for the trial of any case, the judge may select from the names on the jury list provided by the other section the names of as many persons as he deems necessary and cause them to be summoned. So if you don't have enough jurors left, you can add to the list. But it sounds like the list is populated each court term. But if the names are the same, the name's on the list. So I don't think this is going to be grounds. I don't think this has been.
So I think that makes sense.
Violation of due process, because they're allowed to voir dire, and they had. That's the process. The jurors get summoned. They come in. This juror obviously had a summons. Even if the juror lied or misstated or clicked the wrong box or something was pre-populated, how did we get there? But this seems like a how did we get there? I see you guys saying hi to law number. Hello, law number. I feel like we've summoned the.
Okay, so this is where in the stream she goes. If you guys want to, I'll leave the link below to Emily's stream. But this is where she starts bringing in, all of the. I'll just see. She starts bringing in all of the LawTube to discuss the motions. If you guys want to see that. I don't really want to go over any of that. So we're basically just going to go back to me for a second. And then what I do want to, you guys, I had to open my door just so you guys know. It was 92 degrees in here and I had to, for some reason, the air does not circulate in here. So I had to turn on a fan to kind of blow out that hot air. But anyway, so I will leave the link below to Emily's stream. If you guys want to see just the discussion, the great thing about Emily's streams, I've said it in my first stream, that in my fishbowl stream is what I should say, is that she has everything timestamped. So if you guys just want to go straight to their discussion, that would be cool, just so you can hear all of them kind of chime in on their opinion of this motion. So, I mean, it's just been talked about. It's like exhausted, you know what I mean? It's just been exhausting, to continue to keep up with this rhetoric, because that's really what it is. It's just like she just doesn't stop. Elaine doesn't stop, and it's just exhausting. And while Johnny's living his best life. So let's do a recap now before we wrap up the stream, and I'll tell you guys what we discussed from the beginning, because a lot of people probably left. I didn't realize I was in your face, so my apologies on that. Reality bites, right? In your face. But I do have my bookmarks up, so let's go recap. So we started the show with talking about Johnny Depp's his donation. So this was posted, like I said, 1 day ago, 2 days ago. The Independent is the most reliable website, in my opinion, for true information. So he donated $800,000 from his charity art, Never Fear Truth. And he split that $800,000 between 4 recipients, which were beneficiaries, they refer to them. And that would have been the Perth Children's Hospital Foundation, VICAF America, Great Ormond Street Hospital Children's Charity. And then he also split it between the Footprint Coalition, which the Footprint Coalition, as I mentioned before, is a portion of, part of Robert Downey Jr.'s charity. In case you guys, I'm a big fan of Robert Downey, a big fan. So he's affiliated with the Footprint Coalition, and then the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles. Another thing I did cover when I first started the stream, the other stream that went south, is I did say that it has been nice to see a lot of people in the social media platforms, all of them, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, all these people kind of raising money. We've seen it a lot with LawTube on YouTube, where the DUI guy, sold his jury notebook for 15 or 20,000. And then we saw Alita, you know, do her live stream with Johnny Depp's best friend, which was a charitable thing. And then she ended up, I think she raised somewhere around 120,000. It could have been 180,000. I'm not sure. You guys would have to Google that or look on her channel and go back to that stream. And it should be in the description box how much she totally raised. But it's been, you know, really nice to see a lot of people just kind of chiming in, because I think, you know, when people heard that she just pledged this stuff and didn't donate it, I just feel like the public just felt like she cheated a worthy cause, you know, and that when you're talking about children and you're talking about the ill children, it's very hard to see kids going through such things like leukemia and cancer and so on and so forth. So that was a fantastic thing that Johnny Depp did. So that was what this article was in reference to when we opened the show. The second part of the show was in reference to Johnny Depp and Jeff Beck's album, which will be released on July 15th, 2022, if you guys did not hear that. And Jeff Beck does have his own website, and I read a little bit of an excerpt. His wife drew this cover art, and like I said, does anybody remember Take On Me? Let me find it. I'll just do Take On Me. Hold on one second. I forgot. If you're from the 80s and you know music the way I do, Take On Me. Oh, here it is. By Aha, and I'll show you how similar the art is. Cover. Let me see. Cover, album cover. Hold on one second. Is the album cover? So look, I'll show you the album cover, or similar to the album cover. So this is really cool, you guys. I love going down 80s lane. I haven't been singing to you guys. It's my depression, I think, because I was listening to music. But this is Aha from back in the day. So if you'll see, to me, the album cover is very similar. She gave him the same haircut and everything. So I wouldn't say this is too much, you know, identical, but it is very similar to the art that was made on this album. Very, very much so, in my opinion. Remember? Take on me, take me on, take on me. Anyway, that's what I thought of. I don't know if any of you younger generation people will know who Take Aha is, but they were very famous in the 80s. They had a hit song called Take On Me. And if you've never seen it or heard it, they do have a video that goes with it. So if you've never seen the video, I would highly recommend it. This is it right here. It's been remastered. I'll put it in the description box if you want to see it. It got over 1 billion views as of February 17th, 2020. If you guys are interested, this video was originally posted January 6, 2010. I mean, the song's from way back when, though. The song is from way back when, but this is a remastered version of it. And then this is him from 2017 actually singing it, which would be really cool. I would play it, but I don't want to get copyrighted, you guys, because I'm in the process of re-appealing. But anyway, this is their album. And then Jeff Beck, you know, has a whole article published today, July 9th, 2022, on his experience of meeting Johnny Depp, how they met, how they got together. They have a lot in common in reference to cars and guitars and stuff like that. And they were talking about how music made them feel like they were 18 again. So his wife, you know, kind of drew them at 18, kind of. So I think that's really awesome. The album is called 18, by the way, so that's why they chose the number 18. So it says the duo's 13-track album, dubbed 18, will arrive on July 15th. It will be coming out as well, just as a recap, on vinyl. So it will be a vinyl record as well. And I'm pretty sure you're going to be able to find it pretty much anywhere, like probably on Spotify, Apple Music, you know, all the services you can find for music. So I think that's pretty awesome. And then it just says, you know, that they've had a relationship together for a while now. And that Jeff Beck did play with the Hollywood Vampires. If you guys didn't know that, he played guitar. So if you guys want to check out Jeff Beck's website, it does give a whole article on how he met Johnny, how they got together for this album, and so on and so forth. And so it gives a nice homage, if you will. And then it also gives the name of the album here, if you guys are interested. And it also gives all the names of all the songs that are going to be released on the album. They are pretty much covers. There are 2 original tracks that Johnny wrote. So that's that. So, and then there's a tour list. So like I said in the beginning of the show, when I first started it, if you guys are interested in going to see Johnny, I know there's a lot of diehard Johnny fans out there. And I don't know if you guys are interested in taking, some kind of a elaborate trip, but if you are, this is all the dates, and the dates will continue until July 25th. So there's not a lot of dates left, but there has been a lot of postings and things like that on Twitter of him, performing and stuff like that. But all in all, if you haven't seen him live, you can probably search him on YouTube. But if you haven't seen him live, like I said just a second ago, you can always buy the album. So I'm sure there's probably going to be some posters and stuff as well that that have to do with this. Jeff Beck does have some photos on his website as well. So that's another thing you can go and look and see if there's any photos posted on Jeff Beck's website that maybe you haven't seen on Twitter, which is kind of cool. So this is kind of like all the pictures, but this is his website. Keep that in mind. So I don't know how many pictures of Johnny Depp you're going to see. This is more his website than it is Johnny Depp. So, and then I'm sure you can see more pictures of Johnny Depp performing and such. Here he is with, what's this guy's name again? I forget, from Aerosmith. I forget his name. But he's been around a long time. So that's interesting. So then, like I said, I'm sure Johnny Depp probably will have something on his Facebook page. Johnny Depp does have a Facebook page. If you guys did not know that, let me show you Johnny Depp's Facebook page as well. In case you guys have never seen it, if you want to follow it. I hate Facebook, you guys. I'm just going to say I hate Facebook. I fucking hate Facebook. I just know so many people that use it, like old timers that use it just to share shit. I don't know. I've just never been into Facebook like that. I mean, maybe probably 8-9 years ago, like, sharing stuff like that, but I really don't ever go on. I mean, I have to because of my channels and stuff, but I just don't enjoy Facebook as a recreational thing. I usually use it all for, how do I do this? It says, did it text me a code? It didn't text me a code, did it? It's asking me for some code. Let me see. Where's the code? I don't know where the code is. Oh, here it is. Okay, got it. All right, yes, this is me. Okay, sorry about that. It takes me a second. I had to. There we go. I have this 2-step verification or something because I have several pages I manage, business pages I manage on YouTube. So Johnny Depp has a Facebook page, and I'm going to show you that. I apologize for looking down and not acknowledging you guys in the camera, so my apologies on that. But let me go ahead and go down here and show you Johnny Depp's page. Okay, so Johnny Depp. Okay, so let me share with you guys what Johnny Depp's page looks like. So this is Johnny Depp's page on Facebook if you guys are interested in following him. And he's got 14 million followers on Facebook. It's very similar to Instagram. And they post quite a bit. I mean, they don't post every day or anything, but they do post, like a lot of the happenings of his tour and stuff like that. And there's plenty of, there's all kinds of photos on here that you can go through with a gallery of his movies. And I'm sure somebody's managing this page, but this is one of the things that he posted on Instagram recently. So he's an avid reader, I do believe, as well. So, you can follow his page if you want. And you can kind of just keep tabs on what's going on with him and where he's touring and stuff like that. So I thought I would just show you guys his Facebook page if you're not following that part of his social media. And I think that's a pretty good recap, you guys. As far as the shenanigans and the bullshit that Amber Heard is putting us through in terms of the book deal, I did share that with you guys also. And so there seems to be a bidding war on Amber Heard's book deal, whatever. And I have talked about this several times just because I don't understand how she can continue to try to do things like this when it comes to defamation as far as like reoccurring defaming Johnny over and over. But this was an article that I shared in the beginning of the other stream, which is basically, it's a Newsweek article, and it just talks about Amber Heard's 15 million book deal, and the internet reacts and how it's going viral, and all these people are supposed to be fighting over this or whatever. This is OK Magazine, as I mentioned before. And so it seems like it's going to be like some kind of tell-all whatever. And I'm sure people have even spoken. I didn't mention this in the earlier stream, but people have even spoken about this being something where she mentions Elon and she mentions James Franco and, this whole revenge thing she wants to do. So the only thing is on the end of this interview, on the end of this article in reference to, Newsweek and OK Magazine, it was not confirmed that the book deal is actually happening. So that's the only thing that I can tell you guys, that I'm not really sure if these articles that are surfacing and stuff, if they have anything to do with they have reached out to her team and stuff, but nobody's answering, nobody's, responding and stuff like that. So we'll find out later if all this stuff is really true. I wouldn't doubt it, honestly, when it comes to Amber Heard. I wouldn't doubt that she, that she wouldn't do something like this. So that's just something to keep in mind, when it comes to this book deal thing. But that's pretty much it, you guys. That's all I shared in the stream. So I hope you guys enjoyed everything we covered tonight. It was really nice to actually just watch, Emily's just feedback on stuff, to find out where do we really stand with what's going on with this jury, nonsense, and any of the motions that have been filed. It's nice to see LawTube talking about this, especially when Rob gets involved, just because Rob is in Virginia. So it's like, and he practices in Virginia. So I feel like a lot of people are really kind of, keen-eared when it comes to him responding and getting involved with conversation with that, because he seems to really kind of be up to know what's happening, and he's familiar with that judge also. He did say in the live stream, if you guys don't catch it, that if they do any kind of a public hearing, where she calls for him to, for there to be a hearing and Elaine to be present, he wants to be there. They'll talk about that if you guys go back and watch the end of that live stream where they're all powwowing. But yeah, that's everything that I talked about. And that was in my thumbnail, you guys. My goal tonight overall in the stream was to cover Johnny Depp's future steps. He's got his King Louis movie coming out, which we also talked about. That's the one last thing I guess I could finalize, is that there is talk of Netflix funding, backing this movie that he's doing. That was another thing that I brought up in the beginning of the show. Just Netflix seems to be interested in funding and streaming his next movie. So it sounds like, the way the article read, and I'll leave it in the description box after this uploads, but it sounds like Netflix kind of gives some kind of funding to foreign movies of some sort. And so this year they're giving to French movies. And with this particular movie, they were talking about Johnny Depp's, funding Johnny Depp's movie and streaming his movie on Netflix. So I wouldn't be surprised. Johnny Depp has seemed to really benefited from, a comeback, if you will. And, really trying hard and having the potential to really rebuild. I think whatever he does moving forward is going to be very successful. I think, all he wanted was to tell his side of the story and to have his day in court, and he did. And I think it ends there with him. I've said that many, many, many times. You guys know I do Manic Monday on Mondays, and I talk about, these types of relationships and what kind of aftermath and ripple effect that they have in your life as moving on. So I wouldn't be surprised, if Johnny Depp just blasts off, if you will, moving forward. I know another thing I want to say in closing, and we'll bring this up again for Monday, but there was talk, and I didn't open the show with this, and I meant to, but I forgot. So if you're still here, thank you for being here. If you see the tail end of this on the replay crew, thank you so much. I love you, replay crew. I usually have my Canon in my hand, but I love y'all, replay crew. But there was talk about, and I don't know how many of you guys heard this, but there was talk of Disney wanting Johnny Depp back. And I'm not just talking about Disney and Johnny Depp. Let me see. There was some article that came out Yeah. Okay. So wait a minute. I want to just make sure if I say something about this that it's, please tell me it's like something reliable before I let y'all go. See, I don't see anything. Disney reporting offering Johnny Depp a massive deal. Oh, well, this was June 27th, 2022. I guess, I don't know, but that's local10.com. I don't know if that's, I just don't know if it's reliable. Deadline, let's see. New York Post, Johnny Depp to reprise Pirates role. Okay, so we're going to go with New York Post. I know that's really not, that's probably, I don't see the Independent in here. I was hoping to, but I'll pull the New York Post one. So let's go ahead and just talk about this real quick before we actually say goodbye. So this was in the news, and this is the New York Post, and it says here, this was posted on July 9th, or this was for July 9th, 2022. And again, please forgive me. We've got one of these websites that just has so much going on that it literally shuts down my attempt. The only way that I can actually get into the page is if I refresh it. But anyway, this says Johnny Depp could reprise Captain Jack Pirate's role at $300 million deal. And this was posted June 27, 2022. So there was a little bit of talk about Johnny Depp returning to Pirates. Now, I don't think this has been confirmed, so I don't want to be reporting false news, or should I say, do I dare to say it? Fake news. Do I dare to say it? No. Fake news. I don't know how to do his voice, but anyway, so there was talk. I don't know how true this is. It just says to tweak the legendary line from Johnny Depp's best known franchise. This is the day you will always remember as the day you will almost cancel Captain Jack Sparrow. Embattled actor Johnny Depp is rumored to get paid more than $300 million to return to Pirates of the Caribbean after getting, nixed pretty much. And then it says a source close to Disney allegedly dropped the bombshell in a new interview with Aussie outlet Pop Topic. Is this reliable? I don't know. I don't know if this is the truth because Johnny Depp was so avid about what Disney did to them. But I don't know. Johnny Depp is Jack Sparrow, and I really don't know how much of a grudge holder he is when it comes to the right. I mean, let's be honest, y'all. If they offer him the right amount, he'll probably come back. There is no Jack Sparrow. There is no Pirates without Johnny Depp, right? He created this character and manifested it into what it is. And it's just hard to even see this franchise moving forward without him. And I don't think Disney will have any more successful films if they try to, if they try to implement a new character, to take over the franchise, I just can't see that. I know there was talk of The Rock, and there was talk of Margot Robbie, and there was talk of all these different people. So I don't really know. So we'll have to wait and see if Johnny Depp will even consider it. I don't think this article says anything about him, taking it back, but who knows, But the comeback deal, that's what it says. The rumored comeback deal, which is allegedly worth a cool $301 million, would reportedly see Depp return as Jack Sparrow in Pirates of the Caribbean 6 and a spin-off Disney Plus series about early life about the early life. Can you guys see that? About the early life of Captain of the Black Pearl, per source. So remember, this is not verified. They're just saying a source close to Disney is saying this stuff, and we don't know if it's really true. But I mean, is it possible? I think so. I don't know about you guys. I mean, obviously he's going to make Disney grovel to their feet, but I don't really know Johnny Depp in the professional sense of when he's done. I don't know. I mean, this is a franchise he's been part of for years and years and years. It sort of made his career. So it'd be kind of hard I think if the right apology came and they offered him the right deal. I don't know. I mean, they're going to have to go publicly and talk about it or whatever, and he's going to have to say something publicly about it, I would think, or whatever. But that's just my own opinion. That's my own kind of take on the whole thing. I have no idea what really is going to happen. Again, in this article, I don't know how reliable the New York Post is, but at the same time, it is rumored right now. So it is not a confirmed deal. It is not a done deal, but I wouldn't be shocked, in my opinion, if he went back. I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, let me know in the comments below if you guys think he will return. Do you think he's just done and he'll never go back? I don't know. I really don't know. But either way, you guys, that's everything that I had to talk about tonight. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really apologize for the first part of the stream. I feel super, super bad that the first hour and some odd was completely off track and off kilter visually. I'm so sorry. I looked 3D to you in your face, and hopefully I came back and did a better job. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you for hanging out. I will be back on Monday. I don't stream on Sundays, you guys. I will be back on Monday. We'll do the Manic Monday thing. We're going to do the written overview of the therapist, kind of going over Amber Heard's writing. I thought it was interesting. I mean, I think it's worth sharing. I don't know if you guys are still interested in that, but for me, I feel like it'd be worth it just to kind of go over it and talk about it. Again, she did do it in the middle of the trial, so I don't know how accurate she is in terms of like if she's just watching the trial and then decided to do it, or if she actually did it. Because she continues to say throughout the whole video, I don't know them, I don't care. And I don't know. It's just like, why would you do it then? Like, it makes no sense. But I don't know. She is a YouTuber, and she said that people asked her to do it. So, I mean, it's no different than us asking the behavioral panel to review someone's body language, right? So maybe that is true. But that's everything, you guys. I will have more detail on the thumbnail of what we're going to talk about for Manic Monday. I'm not really sure, honestly. I mean, we should talk about anxiety and depression since I'm fucked up over it lately. But yeah, so that's everything for tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed all the news, and I hope I brought to you guys some kind of education or some kind of more information that you didn't know before. I really hope I could bring you something that you enjoyed. And I hope you guys do the subby things. If you've never done that, I would love to have you part of my canon crew around these parts. Oh, that's right. If you made it this far, you could drop an 8-ball. I will try to timestamp this as well, but I wanted to share with you guys really quick before I close out the hat I made. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see it, but I made these hats, and I was hoping that I could get your opinion on them because I have to apply for, hold on one second. Let me put myself back, but let me open up this. Are my hats even, let's see. I made these hats, and I don't know how well you're going to be able to see them, but we'll see. They're embroidered, by the way, so maybe you guys will like them. Maybe you won't. I had to pay a pretty penny for these hats. There's no doubt. So I made these hats, and I had to pay retail price, which sucks. So I couldn't get them on, like merch price or something, but I made these hats, and I wanted to just show you this hat really quick and see if you like it. I don't know if you'll like it or not, but hold on one second. Let me get rid of this little zip finder thing. I don't know what that is, but this is the hat that I made. Oh crap, come on. Okay, let me just show you this hat real quick. I tried to save the photo and like do that, but it's not like okay, wait. See this hat? I don't know if you guys can see it or not. Let me see if I can zoom in the page. See? I don't know. Can you see that? Okay. That's let me blow myself up. So I made this hat right here. Isn't it cute? It says Circus of Fuckery, and it says Ringleader. I thought that was really cute. I made that one, and then I also made one for like people that just watch or whatever. I just have to figure out pricing, because even in search of trying to make a hat that was not so expensive, for one thing, I think the reason why it was so expensive is because it's embroidered, and that was not my goal. My goal was not to have embroidered merch, because I feel like that's a little bit more expensive than I wanted. But I am going to try to take my logo and elsewhere. I do have an artist working on a design as well for my hoodies and my shirts right now. So that's another thing I'm going to try to do. I know she reached out to me a week ago, but I've been kind of not in a very talkative mood lately, so I really haven't had a chance to catch up with her, but she's very kind. But I wanted to show you the other 3 hats that I got, and see if you guys like these. I guess I could also post these. I don't want to waste your time because I know it's late on some parts of where you guys are watching from. But let me see. Hold on one second. I'm trying to just grab it. Where is my order? Here it is. To see, I'm going to try to post this on a community post just so you guys can see these up closer. But I have one that says, "Welcome to the Circus of Fuckery," but it's embroidered, and I'll be able to show. I'm going to be sharing this on the channel as well once they come in. They're already ordered. I just have to wait for them to arrive. But I have Circus of Fuckery Security and Circus of just the circuit. Welcome to the Circus of the Fuckery. Which I'm very excited. I have to tell you guys, I'm very excited about this. I just have to find, I want to make sure that if I have merch that it is very, very affordably priced. I'm not out to take advantage of anybody, and I'm not out to, ask people to pay ridiculous prices. If it's something that you're interested in reference to supporting the channel. But let me see if I can make this bigger. Oh, it's not showing. Darn it. Why won't you show? Okay, I can't seem to get it to show. So, I'm trying to enhance the page. I'll show you what I'm looking at, but I can't enhance the page is the problem. I was trying to blow up the page. See, I was trying to blow up the page, but this website, I think for like privacy or protection purposes, it won't let me save the picture and then enhance it. I did talk to the owner though, and he said that I could resell the hats for any price. Yeah, I shouldn't have did that. Oh crap. Well, I'm going to cut out the end of that just so you guys know. I didn't mean to do that. But anyway, I made some shirts and I made some hats. So I will definitely let you guys see it on the community post. And you guys can let me know which one you like the best. I'll do a voting thing. And I'll do each one in a different post. Because I don't know how many pictures. The community post might be able to let me... the community post might be able to let me do several pictures in one post. But I'm just really curious as to know which one you guys will like the best. So you guys will have to let me know. But that's going to wrap it up, you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. I really appreciate it. You guys, I hope you're having a fantastic weekend. And I'll be back for Manic Monday. So take care, y'all. Sleep well. And I will see you guys soon. So I hope you guys are doing fantastic. And let me play my outro. And I will see you guys on... Where's my outro? On Monday. Take care. Bye.
Baby, why can't you sleep at night? Tell me lies, I just wanna know the truth. Do or die, is it me or is it you? You can say I haven't tried to cross the street divide. Your feelings come and go, but I still love you so. There is nothing I won't do to make this dream come true. Darling, you can walk away, but I keep coming back to you. Coming back to you.